want to make sure that I acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley, because Tiege Hanley sent me this new pack. They sent me the new Tiege pack, so I just literally pulled the paper out, got it out of the mail, and I started going through it, and I got a little bit more excited than I should. You know what I'm saying? So they did send me the Tiege pack, and I don't even know what this is yet. So I'm assuming this is what you get when you first order your Tiege, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is dope. This is absolutely dope. Is this a nail kit? Ladies, get this for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. This is free. This just comes with it. 30% off your first order, plus 20% off for life. Literally. Oh, snaps. I didn't know that they were sending it like this. Real talk. So this is the nail kit that they sending you. All right. So now you ain't looking like a dusty. This is a free gift straight from Tiege for the people that ordered the Tiege. They got the small one for the little hands like mine's. They got the big joints for your toenails. And then they got the joints at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that's a little bit more crustier than usual. All right, so that's one of the free gifts that Tiege got inside of the pack. And then, what is this? Says, squeeze a quarter-size amount of Tiege Hanley body wash on the center of the wet bristles. Lather, scrub, rinse, and repeat for the perfectly satisfying wash every time. So that's inside of there also, right? Ooh, I can get my rubber ducky on right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege for sending me that uncomplicated skincare for men. And then what we got in here? We got the actual Tiege pack, right? So this is the normal Tiege pack, but then they gave me the supersized joint for the people. They wanted me to show the people exactly what they got when they ordered that first Tiege pack, when you're getting your 30% off your first order, and then you get your free gifts. You get 2 free gifts, and then the 20% off for life. So the 20% off for life is a new thing. And dang, I ain't even got my keys on me to open this up. Maybe I can use the little nail clipper thing. I ain't got to buy no nail clipper for my new joint downtown. And then you get all of the washes, all of the scrubs, all of the AM, the PMs, and all of that stuff. So you got the whole thing inside of there for you to make sure you take care of yourself. But you got to make sure you take care of it every day. Right? We don't want to miss days. We don't want to be looking like dusties. It does not absolve you from being able to make sure that you brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It don't fix the teeth problem. Don't fix you ironing your clothes. Don't fix you being able to take care of your business. But it absolutely makes sure that your skin is phenomenal, even when you're going between shaves. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege Hanley. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. I might do an official Tiege commercial, but I like just talking authentically to the people. I like giving the people the authentic look of what it is that you're dealing with, and I want you to hear from me personally, because anybody can do that little pitch, and they can make some little videos, but very few of us can actually speak to the products of exactly what it is that you're supposed to use. So yeah, Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order, and then 20% off for life. That's the Anton Daniels pack, 20% off for life. Using any other Tiege pack, make sure that you go ahead and let that go. And make sure you tap into the link that's in the description and take care of it, all right? What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is a glorious September 12th, 2024 year of our Lord. It is going to be a great day outside. We got after hours popping. We woke up today, and it's another opportunity for us to do great things. We in monk mode in certain aspects of our lives, depending on what it is that we want to solve for. And I feel great. I feel great. I had to make sure that the numbers came out because I wanted to confirm what I wanted to confirm before I release this new Patreon video. Because over the past couple of weeks, I've been recording a Patreon video that basically breaks down and updates you guys on my 8 sources of income, why I have 8 sources of income, why I will be going down to 7 sources of income, and then how that continues to benefit me as far as pushing that out in order to make sure that I spend more time focused on things that's generating more revenue. If some of you guys are OG bag chasers and Patreon members, you know that I've always talked about cost benefit analysis. I'm going to break that down in the video. Also, we got the real estate club coming up soon, so that's going to be awesome, in addition to stock club. And then last but not least, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown within the next 3 to 4 weeks, because 2 weeks from now, I will be finished with my first build as far as making sure that I build a property from scratch. And I will give you every single detail from purchasing a property, from all of the costs, the delays, the learned lessons, the failures, what is going to benefit me as far as me learning this and going into it for the first time. In my new builds, I'm going to also show you my breaking of ground of the new locations and all of that. So if you are not a bag chaser, if you are not a Patreon member, you really need to get involved, but only if you're not looking to be a Dusty. Again, I am going to show all of my receipts and my 8 sources of income, and that's only exclusively for the bag chasers. I will tell you this. You guys already know that every year is significantly better as far as growth and finances than the year before. You know what my strategy is as far as how I leverage my brokerage account in order to continue to make more money, and then I leverage that in order to fund my businesses, because I don't believe in taking out any loans. So I'm self-financed on everything. I don't believe in debt. And so I basically take Dave Ramsey. It's an addition of Dave Ramsey, but it's kind of on steroids, but it's a little bit more sophisticated. And then last but not least, I get to tell y'all and show y'all that this year is bigger than every single year before it. So I will tell you, for example, last month, just between 2 channels, we did more revenue just from a content creation perspective than any month that I've had prior to. Any month that I had, let me give myself a round of applause. Any month that I had prior to. And so you guys will get an opportunity to see the receipts, just like I show you my W-2s, just like I show you my 1099s, just like I show you my 1040s. All of that stuff will be released inside of the Bag Chasers, just so you guys can see it. And then I'm expecting to do a mastermind session, a live mastermind session with you guys from a content creation perspective. So my expertise is figuring out how to extract the most money and whatever it is that we do. We see a lot of these content creators and they be having 1 million subscribers and all of that. They ain't making no money. They broke. Some of them get to the bag. Others is a little dusty. We not worried about that. We gonna figure out how to extract the most resources, whether it be real estate, content creation, your regular 9-to-5 job, corporate America, businesses, whatever it is. We got to figure out whether or not it makes sense financially or we need to divest ourselves. So it's a multi-level approach. Got to make sure I give you the game with regard to my real life experiences and investments, real estate, content creation, corporate America, web development, software engineering, and then you guys can take the information and do what you want to with it. All right. So all of that stuff is being put together. I cannot wait to continue to give y'all all of the game, all of the insight, all of the information on the Patreon from real life experiences. We don't sell courses. We not doing no one-time thing. If you rock with it, you rock with it. If you don't, you don't. Take the information, do what you will with it. Some of y'all got in on a $9 tier and you ain't letting it go because you see the value that comes along with it. And it's multi-million dollars worth of game, all right? So I'm going to continue to be absolutely transparent. If you want to tap into the Patreon, the link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, shout out to Tiege Hanley. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. That link is in the description. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. We got after hours tonight. So much to discuss on after hours. We're going to get into Shannon Sharp. We're going to get into Dawn Richards. But today, right now, we got to make sure that we give you the information, the news, the finances, and how it comes back down to the money, and we got to put the medicine inside of the candy, all right? So strap up. The next 2 hours is me and you continuing to go through it. Like I said, we got JD Vance is discussing the debate. We got the California wildfires, homelessness in California. Also, New York is paying migrants $4,000 just to leave their shelters. I'm going to give y'all an update on what's going on in Ohio, Springfield, and then we're going to come back into people complaining about repossessions. So much to get into, all right? So shout out to y'all. I definitely want to make sure that I acknowledge the Super Chats and the Cash Apps. First and foremost, shout out to Kalisha Green, says, Anton, please check out Michaela on Revolt News. Michaela was on Revolt News? Well, I got to check her out. I could just call her. Let me see.
Good morning, handsome. How are you?
What's up, Michaela? I'm on a live stream. How you feel, baby?
You on the live stream?
Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Hello, beautiful people. How are y'all?
Michaela said, what up, y'all? You was on Revolt? They telling me you was on Revolt News.
I was on Revolt.
How'd it go?
Well, it seemed like a setup, but you kind of can't set up somebody who's already ready, so they never have to get ready. You feel me? It was all good. I don't think folks expected me to really be able to hold my own. I don't know where this narrative came from that, somebody's paying me to do what I do, but I really do have personal experiences that point to, the decisions I'm making today. And yeah, they couldn't deny them. So there goes that.
All right, let me check this out. Okay, I'm going to call you back as soon as I get off this live stream.
All right.
All right, man. All right, so I'm going to find out what's going on and what's happening out here in these streets. So shout out to my girl, Michaela. I could just hit up the source. I also been kicking it with, y'all know. We'll kick it. So anyways, we'll review that and we'll talk about that tonight. So maybe we'll add that as a part of After Hours for show. Shout out to Turf. Says, morning, AD, happy Thursday. Let's get it. Yeah. Shout out to y'all. Let me acknowledge the Cash Apps also. I love my people on Cash App. I never asked for this, but y'all always make sure that y'all show love and hold me down, so I got to make sure I acknowledge y'all. First and foremost, I want to give an acknowledgement to Kais Jenkins Parker. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. We're going to get to you. Allie Collins says, a General Barbecue cat meat sandwich. What? I guess that's as a result of talking about the migrants. My dog, ESDC in the building. Shout out to ESDC. And Mike, that dude. What up to Mike back, dude? I appreciate you. Let's get to it. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. I will be continuing to read Super Chats throughout the show. Turtle says, yes, Anton, Michaela handled the male hostess. All right, we'll get there. We're going to get there. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. How about we get into Quick Hits, ladies and gentlemen? Quick Hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think that we need to dedicate an entire segment to, but we definitely want to keep y'all in the loop on what's happening out in these streets. So first things first, patrons, people that were actually on the ground eating dinner at a steakhouse in Sherman Oaks was held up. Check it out.
Developing news here of violent robbery sparking chaos at a celebrity hotspot in the San Fernando Valley.
KTLA's Gene Kang live outside of a popular Sherman Oaks steakhouse where this all went down last night. Gene, good morning.
Good morning, Frank and Jessica. Well, this morning, police say, unfortunately, the gunman got away. But witnesses are saying that two victims were held at gunpoint right outside of this popular steakhouse here in Sherman Oaks. It caused total chaos. Take a look.
Right here, right in the middle, right in the middle of the street. Be honest, I don't know if you got a gun or you got to use a gun or a prop gun. Use a gun.
Panicked patrons in Sherman Oaks talking to LAPD officers outside of the Boulevard restaurant. Witnesses say two victims, a man and a woman, were allegedly robbed at gunpoint just outside the restaurant. They say it happened right after they finished dining at the popular steakhouse by Ventura Boulevard and Metaliha Avenue, which is a well-known celebrity hotspot. The victims told detectives that they were leaving the restaurant when suddenly a suspect with a gold-colored gun robbed them, insisting the woman hand over her purse. Soon the couple ran back into the restaurant, causing chaos as customers and restaurant workers reportedly ran out the back door. That was around 9:30 last night. A police helicopter and LAPD patrol units searched for that gunman. Unfortunately, he ran off. Witnesses told police they heard gunshots. After further investigation, they found no evidence of gunfire, and the suspect stole a cell phone from a victim, which was later found near the scene. Now, back out here live, I'm talking to folks who work and live in this area of Sherman Oaks. In fact, this is Dave Parker. Dave, if you can join us here. Good morning. Thank you so much for talking to us. You were just getting your laundry at the laundromat next door.
Yes, I come here quite often, and I know about the Boulevard Steakhouse. It's a brand new spot, very glamorous joint, and it was scary when I got the citizen alert last night about 9:30 on 9/11.
Now y'all know when y'all start robbing these good rich folk and where these celebrity hotspots are and stuff like that, that's gonna cause a frenzy. First of all, who is this Lord of War that is walking around with gold guns and robbing each other? So either this is a high-end robber or this is a toy gun. Either way, walking around with a toy gun is wild. A gold gun is wild. The only time that I've ever heard of a gold gun was when Nicolas Cage was in The Lord of War, and he was like, "Can you get me the gun of Rambo?" And he was sitting up there, the Africans, and it was in Sierra Leone, and he had the guns like that. He had the guns, and he had the AK-47, and it was gold-plated. It's the only time that I've ever heard of a gold gun. You know what I'm saying? So, you know when these rich folks start getting robbed that it's going to be a problem? Yeah, I told y'all, I warned y'all that it was going to be spreading wide, far, near, and wide, everywhere. It's going to be spreading. It's coming to a neighborhood near you. Yep, you can't contain it anymore. It's already out there. It's going to get popping.
11 call here, and yeah, I guess there was a gun activity. Scary stuff.
And you just heard during my report some of the things that allegedly happened, terrifying the couple, and then victims and witnesses all out here on the sidewalk. You know, is this kind of a big problem for you? More crime in the area that you've seen?
I've definitely noticed an uptick. It is kind of scary. You know, there's definitely a bit more homeless activity, a bit more crime going on, and you got to be a bit more aware. Always good to be aware, but definitely something that we talk about in my neighborhood, in my house. You know, with
No, they having community meetings. They having community meetings. The same thing that happened in Springfield is coming to y'all. Keep voting blue. Anyways, in addition to that, legendary soul singer Frankie Beverly died at 77 years old.
Legendary soul singer, songwriter, and producer Frankie Beverly has passed away.
We don't do music.
His passing have been released. Frankie Beverly was 77 years old. Let's bring in ABC News contributor Kelly Carter now for a little bit more. Kelly, Frankie Beverly was a musical icon here. So what legacy does he leave behind?
Man, he leaves a big one. I think probably primarily it's one of joy and happiness. You know, just his live concerts were really like a soulful musical revival. And just about everyone talking about his passing today is remembering the good times that they had when they saw him perform. And I have to say, if you never were able to see Frankie Beverly and Maze perform, usually in the summertime at an outdoor concert, you definitely missed out on an experience. I mean, just so much fun, happy music, and really just this reminder of why it's important to celebrate life and have a good time.
Now, Beverly's family released a statement saying, in part, he lived for his music, family, and friends. And Kelly, his music's been a staple in many homes for generations. So how are people reacting to his death now?
I mean, look, it's been a staple in many homes, but in particular in the Black community, it is a source of celebration. There is probably not a wedding or a graduation or a family reunion experience that you go to in the Black community that does not play Before I Let Go. Like it's almost against the rules, I think. And so today, what you're finding is people like Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child and Michael Eric Dyson really tweeting out and talking about that kind of shared experience, that shared cultural experience and contribution that his music gave to, our biggest celebratory moments in life.
And that is true. Is very rare in Black or white, but especially in Black households, it's very rare to go to an event and not hear Frankie Beverly and Maze played. And it's almost like I don't know about y'all cities, but they come and visit Detroit at least 2 or 3 times a year. And he basically toured until the time that he passed away. I think that the last Frankie Beverly and Maze time that they toured was actually this year. And so a lot of people, I had seen it online where people were kind of going back and forth about they had seen him online and he was still kind of singing and he said that he was going to still tour and stuff. And people was giving him a little bit of a hard time. And then other people was like, hey man, age reaches all of us and it's just a part of it. And it's a lot of people that's passed away. And so every year we're getting to the point to where a lot of our legends and the people, both young and old, unfortunately in the rap industry, they tend to die a little bit younger. But young and old is people that pass away every single year. So it's almost like, man, who's going to pass away next year? Just recently, you seen Fat Man Scoop, Rich Homie Quan, Frankie Beverly. And then on top of that, even James Earl Jones passed away at 93. Man, if I could live to be 90 in good health, I would be
remembering
happy.
The one and only James Earl Jones. He entertained us for decades with all those powerful roles on the stage and screen, and of course that unforgettable booming voice. So many actors paying tribute, as well as the Broadway theater named for him and the Empire State Building as well. Chris Conley is here with a look at his life and incredible legacy. Chris.
And good morning to you, Robin. A titan of American acting, James Earl Jones earned recognition and honor for performances that movie lovers of all ages will cherish for the rest of their lives. And yet, he was so much more even than that.
I am your father.
A heart-stopping moment for generations of moviegoers, and he made it unforgettable.
That's impossible! Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
James Earl Jones could hold millions in thrall with just the sound of his commanding voice. As the voice of Darth Vader in the Star Wars trilogy.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
And as Mufasa in the 1994 Disney animated classic, The Lion King.
Look, Simba, everything the light touches is our kingdom.
In the flesh on screen, he could be just as compelling and charismatic.
People will come, Ray.
Paying tribute to the glories of the American pastime in Field of Dreams.
But baseball has
Coming to America.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
For decades as an actor, he'd used that mighty voice and stature in comedies as well as dramas, taking on a variety of roles in film and TV. As the imposing Thulsa Doom, battling with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan the Barbarian.
Ain't it tripped out to see them when they were younger? It's so crazy because a lot of times we only remember them for their greatest works and for them to be older. It's a lot of people that's aging. It's a lot of people that's getting older, man. And it's kind of sad to say, but then it's also a celebration because you got to think about it. And Conan the Barbarian, I actually watched that when I was younger growing up. You got to think about it. You know, you look at a lot of these actors, the Sylvester Stallones and what's my man? God, Driving Miss Daisy. I don't know. It's slipping my mind right now. But a lot of our favorite actors, they getting older, man, and they aging and they holding on as long as they can. But to think that he lived to be 93 years old is actually a blessing. Thank God he didn't die from a drug overdose. Thank God he didn't die for, something wild. But he just, old age, 93 years old, phenomenal life. Rest in peace to James Earl Jones. Rest in peace to Frankie Beverly and Maze. Or not Maze, but Frankie Beverly. Yeah, man. Long lives. We all want long lives and happiness and to be leaving a decent legacy instead of what it is that we're about to talk about next. Last but not least, Diddy is sued by Dawn Richards. Check it out.
Rapper and record producer Sean Diddy Combs was hit with a new lawsuit alleging sexual abuse on Wednesday.
Morgan Freeman,
Former Bad Boy Records singer Dawn
Bruce
Richards
Willis
is suing Combs for sexual assault, battery, sex trafficking, and gender discrimination. Richard filed the suit in New York and is also suing former Bad Boy CEO Harv Pierre. The singer met Combs during her 2004 audition for Making the Band, where she claims he began showing inappropriate behavior. She was in the girl group Danity Kane and the R&B trio Diddy Dirty Money with Combs and Kalina Harper. Richard alleges in the suit that Combs groped her, was physically violent, and threatened her life while trapping her in a car. The suit also claims she saw Combs abuse his ex-girlfriend, R&B singer Cassandra.
Did she say Combs groped her?
Ventura, who settled a lawsuit with Combs last year over abuse and rape allegations. Combs' attorney Erica Wu said in a statement that the rapper is ready to prove Richard's claims are false in court. Wu said that, quote, Dawn Richard has now manufactured a series of false claims, all in the hopes of trying to get a payday, conveniently timed to coincide with her album release and press tour. Richard's lawsuit came a day after a Michigan inmate won $100 million from Combs for alleged assault nearly 30 years ago.
So basically, this is a cash grab. We can believe Cassie. I don't believe Dawn Richards at all. She was supposed to be one of the loyal ones. But I tell you, money make people do a crazy thing. And this people always ask me, Anton, why do you always get consent agreements and NDAs and all of this stuff? For everybody's protection, so that you can't come back and say that anybody did anything that they did. Once you see me making $30, $40, $50 million a year, and we didn't grow this thing into a conglomerate, you can't come back and say, oh my God, I was sitting on a black couch. No, you wasn't. We got recordings, we got footage, we got everything. Ain't none of that. So yeah, man, another payday, another cash grab. File a lawsuit one day after an inmate wins a default judgment in Michigan. I ain't going for it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your quick hits. All right, let me read a couple of super chats and let's get it popping. Forsaken Archive says James Bond, 007 James Bond out here. Be safe, y'all. Shout out to Forsaken Archives. I appreciate you. Duran Lee says James Earl Jones passed on the 9th. Rest in peace. Turf Ferdberg says James Earl Jones was awesome and best of the best. Shout out to y'all. Thank you to everybody that contributes into the platform. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Let me just make sure of something really quickly before we get started. Shout out to, oh my God. I got too many rich friends. Chris James is in the building. Chris James just be throwing money all over the place. Chris James on Cash App just threw, he ain't throw a 100 ball, he threw a 200 ball. Chris James, man, you know how I be feeling about that. You know what I'm saying? You know how I be feeling about that, dog. All of my rich friends be saying I appreciate the love and support. It still takes some getting used to, honestly. No matter how much love I've gotten, no matter how much support that I've gotten rock with, it still takes getting used to for people like Chris James. And even if y'all give a dollar, whatever it is, I just appreciate y'all. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank you. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for showing love. Y'all ready to get started with the show? All right, let's buckle up. Thank you again, big dog. Let's buckle up. Let's get it popping. First and foremost, let's go into these wildfires. So, I always like to wait because I caught this story yesterday, but I had to double check to make sure that it was true because you guys have been basically sending me emails that was saying that the line fire and all of these wildfires that was started over in California was started by one man that is now burned up close to approaching over 40,000 acres. All right, let's get into it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock, y'all.
The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department has arrested a man accused of starting the line fire. The fast-moving fire has consumed More than 35,000 acres. Evacuations remain in effect. KTLA 5's Lauren Lister live now in San Bernardino, where a news conference was held just a short time ago. Lauren?
Yeah, Glenn, a major update in the line fire burning in San Bernardino County. Authorities believe it was intentionally started, and they announced an arrest of this man you see here. They identify him as Justin Wayne Halstenberg, 34 years old, of Norco, booked on arson, being held on $80,000. Lieutenant Kerry Klaus with the sheriff's.
Why is he only being held on $80,000? That's what I be trying to figure out. How are people even only held on $80,000 when you basically cause billions of dollars worth of damage? But let's continue.
Department and Chief Jed Gaines with CAL FIRE joining me now to talk a little bit more about where.
For those of y'all that are in the Patreon, because make sure y'all tap into the Patreon, you have to be on a tier, okay? So a lot of y'all that'll jump into the Patreon and you say, oh man, I'm just part of it. No, you don't get access until you get on a tier. You have to get on a tier to have access to the content, all right? Sometimes I'll let some of the content rock out for free. I'll let some live streams rock out for free. And then I'll do the re-upload, and I'll only make it rewatchable for the people that's on a tier. You got to be on a tier to access all of the content. It unlocks every single thing that we've ever done on the Patreon that's been up there, all right? Let's get to it.
Things stand. So first of all, Lieutenant, what led authorities to believe this was arson and lead to this arrest?
Well, first of all, our detectives from the Highland Station did a joint investigation with CAL FIRE Investigations. At the origin of the fire, they were able to look at several different videos and determine who the suspect was. Yesterday, they served a search warrant at the suspect's residence where they were able to detain the suspect. They also located evidence inside the suspect's residence and his vehicle that we have pictured behind you that corroborated the arrest of the suspect. So last night, he was booked at West Valley Detention Center for arson. And I will tell you, just to give you an update, they were able to obtain a bail enhancement, and he is now in on no bail.
No bail. So.
But why did it have to be an enhancement? Why wasn't no bail? Why wasn't it no bail in the first place? Let me ask a question before we see the rest of this. Because I want to tap into multiple different sources just to make sure that we got all of the facts. If somebody dies in this wildfire that he started, does he also get charged for the murder or manslaughter or whatever it is that you're doing? Do you also be held accountable for anything that happens with other people? That's what I'm wondering.
That is even an update since we first got this news. Thank you for talking with us. Now, Chief Gaines, let's talk a little bit more about this fire. So it's burned more than 34,000 acres, broke out last Thursday. There are evacuations in place in parts of Highland and Big Bear and also Running Springs. 14% contained, though, so there has been some progress made. What is the threat that remains?
Yeah, still the threat is up in Running Springs and Big Bear, and then the Highway 38 corridor out of Yucaipa. We're working on, we're trying to get it buttoned up around Running Springs. The fire made a big push yesterday afternoon and evening into the community of Running Springs, so firefighters are engaged in a firefight there late into the night last night with the winds and low humidity that we had. And also the fire is well established in the Santa Ana River drainage, which is pushed into Bear Creek, and that's what's threatening the community of Big Bear. Yesterday afternoon, we put the southwest side of Big Bear into an evacuation order, and we've got crews up in there that are prepping and building lines with bulldozers and everything else we're doing to try to save the community of Big Bear.
So that's a big focus, is keeping that fire away from Big Bear. What are the biggest challenges for firefighters today?
Some of the biggest challenges we have is just this terrain out here. It's very steep, very rocky, very tough terrain. We have to be very careful where we put firefighters and make sure that their safety is our #1 priority.
Thank you so much for talking with us. 14% contained, those evacuations still in place. They did confirm one structure has been destroyed. They are still investigating, though, if there is further damage. I do want to show the truck that the lieutenant mentioned that they associate with the suspect, and they do still want more information because they have some suspicion that there could possibly be links to other fires.
So y'all telling me that demons don't live on Earth? That people don't get possessed? That there's not also a spiritual aspect that plays into what y'all see happening here? You telling me that a grown man that's riding around in a rapist truck, and I always get suspicious of just these rando white vans, rando white pickup trucks, the old ones. It's usually a Chevy of some sort. And that's just for real. It's either Econoline or a Chevy. and you see these guys that's in these nondescript, no rim having trucks, walking around causing this type of chaos, and you're telling me that there's no spiritual aspect to this, I don't believe it. Because in order to do something like this and to be intentional like this, especially as an adult, something has to be going on up there that's like a light bulb off, or you just an evil person. You got to be an evil person to just put yourself in this position to try and set a fire that ultimately is probably going to burn 50, 60, 70,000 acres and then destroy so many different homes. Let me look at it from another lens, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have some firsthand accounts of how this is affecting people on the ground.
Some breaking news in the line fire investigation. A suspect has been arrested for allegedly sparking that fire, which has now burned more than 34,000.
Hey, I'm trying to stay focused, y'all. I'm trying to stay focused, especially on the good subjects, on the good foot. I'm trying to stay focused, y'all. All right? Okay? I see you, baby girl. You getting it? You getting it? We ain't seen you before. Is this a new one? It's a new one. All right. We're going to keep it moving.
1,000 acres in the San Bernardino Mountains. Assignment manager Mark Liu is live at the desk with that. So, Mark, an arrest has been made.
That's exactly right, Sheba. San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes gave a very stern news conference announcing the arrest of this arson suspect and stated in no uncertain terms that he and his sheriff's deputies would not tolerate acts of arson or any attempts at looting in the mandatory evacuation areas of the line fire. Now, take a listen to what the sheriff had to say about bringing that arson suspect to justice.
But I'm very proud of our department, our collaborators, and I couldn't be more proud of this investigation because people are going to want to know who and what was responsible for doing that. And between CAL FIRE and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, we're going to be able to bring that level of justice to them.
Now, speaking of justice, this is the suspect that is now in custody. Sheriff's deputies say this is 34-year-old Justin Wayne.
All right, so look, let's throw race in this a little bit. Let's have a little bit of controversy. Let's have a conversation. Are there certain crimes that are attached to a certain demographic of people? Just asking a question. Are there certain crimes attached to certain demographics of people? For example, arson. It seems like, and we're not going to put this on all white people, obviously, but it seems like that's more of a white man crime. You're going to light some stuff on fire. Firebug. Fire. That seems like a white man crime. It does. There's other crimes that tend to, hey, listen, usual suspect, I see you. I'm just saying, are there certain crimes, because for whatever reason, when they told me that it was a suspect that was lighting fires and messing up everything that was going on in California, that I just automatically just went straight to probably a middle-aged white man of some sort. Stereotypes is there for a reason. If you tell me that somebody was stealing out of that it was a violent crime that took place because somebody got caught stealing in the hair salon or in the hair beauty supply store, for some reason, I'm not going to think it's, oh man, that got to be some white woman. That is probably going to be a sister. And not the sister that's in this chat either. It's probably going to be, a young black woman that got a middle part bust down, as my dog Quentin like to say, that's seen an opportunity to get a come up. You're not going to see no white women stealing out of a black beauty supply or Asian beauty supply store. You know what I'm saying? If I see that, I don't know, it's somebody that was eating people. Like, you kind of got an idea like, yeah, usual suspects. If somebody get caught in the parking lot like my man and he was overly disciplining his child, it's probably going to be a black man with a young child. You know what I'm saying? So we got to use our context clues. We got to leverage FBI investigation. If y'all never seen Manhunter on Netflix, you should go check it out. It's a good series. But let me get back to this.
Hulstenberg of Norco. Detectives say he's responsible for intentionally lighting a blaze last Thursday that is now the line fire burning in the mountains south of Running Springs. This is the pickup truck that was first spotted leaving the scene of the start of that fire, according to deputies near Baseline Road and Applin Street in Highland. Now, the sheriff says an automated license plate reader caught that truck leaving the area, and then amazing police work by detectives, according to the sheriff, tracked down that suspect to a home on Detroit Street in the city of Norco. According to sheriffs, evidence recovered in that truck and in the home supports the charge of arson. Hulstenberg being held without bail at the West Valley Detention Center facing charges of arson. Now, Sheba, the sheriff also mentioned that that's not the only person that they've arrested. San Bernardino County sheriffs say that they've taken 2 suspected burglars into custody.
I wonder if the burglars, what are they and what do they look like?
That were allegedly trying to steal from homes in the mandatory evacuation area of the line fire in the Running Springs area. The sheriff says they are continuing to patrol that area. Right now, the line fire has burned more than 34,000.
Yo, you got to be a real criminal. You got to be a kleptomaniac, a serious evil person to want to take advantage of people that had to be evacuated from their homes. And then you say, all right, so this is a break-in opportunity. Think about the type of desperation, ugly criminal you got to be to stay in a line of fire from a wildfire, put your life at risk, and go and make sure that you try to break into people's homes that was evacuated. You got to be a special kind of room 9 type of person, all right? You got to be real room 9-ish. All right, so this is some of the insight and the most updated news about what's happening as far as these line fires. Let's continue to watch.
The bridge fire is one of 3 big fires burning across Southern California. 2 other fires burning in San Bernardino, Riverside, and Orange counties. Governor Gavin Newsom visiting impacted neighborhoods today as he expanded the state of emergency. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand live for us now in Running Springs with the latest on the line and airport fires. Jory.
Mark, Running Springs tonight is a ghost town. It is silent here. The only vehicles we see on the road are fire trucks and police cars. Most residents packed up and left before the flames got here. That includes one family who now has no home to come back to. This was the drive up to Running Springs tonight. The glow of active flames still burning on hillsides and miles of guardrails melted and destroyed. Sitting on the southern edge of Running Springs lies the remains of a home now burned to the ground. The family that lived here includes a 5-year-old girl. They all evacuated before the line fire reached their home, but everything they didn't take with them has now been turned to ash.
Really sweet people. They got, little kids, and yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Travis.
Y'all know this is one of the reasons why insurance companies is pulling out of California, right? It's the reason why California then instituted and did the same thing that Florida did as far as a state insurance in order to try to keep people in California to make them feel more secure about purchasing a home in California. And for every person that ever got in my chat and said, no, big dog, we got good weather all year round. Okay, well, it's only a matter of time for you get the arsonist or a lightning strike into some random forest, and the next thing you know, your baby seat is all burned up in the back of the crib, and it's going to be 100,000 homes burned down. And you think that an insurance company is going to willingly put themselves in harm's way to be able to pay y'all billions and billions of dollars when they know that California is literally a hellhole when it comes to some of these crimes? And in addition to that, we also have all of these forest fires that come every single year. It's like a rite of passage. Hurricane season comes in Florida. Wildfire season comes over in California. And it's just normal. It's just normal. No, they're not going to stay. Insurance companies is going to get out of Dodge. They're going to be like, you know what? We done took enough pain. We're not really trying to continue to be over here. We can't even afford to still stay and do business in California. And so that is another reason why your insurance prices is going to continue to be high. You say, AD, what do you mean hell on earth? Well, if you're caught in a wildfire and you have to be evacuated, but you don't evacuate fast enough because the winds are swinging, then that becomes hell on earth. Y'all didn't see the thumbnail before you came in? You didn't see the thumbnail before you came in? That is hell on earth. To know that your home is going to be in a line of fire, and like Molly said inside of the chat, there are ways to prevent it. Obviously, not so much, especially when it comes to the fact that you do have arsonists that could just set off the whole thing, but the fact that you know that this is coming. People in Louisiana know that it's just a matter of time, especially because their city is basically below sea level. In a lot of places, it'd be like 10 feet below sea level. They know that a big hurricane is going to come. Francine is down there right now. Not so bad. Maybe not next year, maybe not the year after, maybe not the year after that. But if you go through and you drive and you see some of these homes and some of these places that are below sea level and they're raised up on stilts and bricks, I go and visit Biloxi because I like visiting Biloxi, which is only an hour away, less than an hour away from New Orleans. And then we go and drive over to New Orleans, party, have a good time, go back to Biloxi and party. You see the homes, we rebuilding, everybody is coming back. It's only a matter of time before a hurricane or some natural disaster come and it do the same thing that it did before. It's inevitable. It's coming. It's happening. Over in Florida, in Miami, we partying, we having a good time. What do you think is going to happen? Why do you think that we only visit during the wintertime and we won't buy no property down there? We only visit in the wintertime. Why? Because they got great weather. We then bypass hurricane season, but then y'all get this crazy hot summer, and then y'all get rain every day and flooding, and then every single year we do reports. Oh, look, the streets of Miami is flooded. It's up to their knees. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. So what I choose to do is I go into an area that I know is not going to have any problems. Yeah, we got our own problems. We get all 4 seasons. We get snow. We right next to the largest body of fresh water in the Great Lakes and all of that stuff. But I can always take a flight and go and visit. I can go and live in California for the next 4 months after wildfire season and then go right back to my stable crib where I know I ain't got to worry about nothing except for a couple of school shooters. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why people build or continue to buy homes in these places that are obviously going to burn down, get flooded out. And the insurance companies, if you see the insurance companies say, you know what, we pulling out of this particular area, then that's a sure sign that something bad is probably going to be on the horizon, especially because our environment and our climate continues to warm. It just is what it is.
Mr. Brule lives about a half-mile away. His family all left town, but he decided to stay behind.
Mom's scared. Brother's got his kid. They gotta go. So I stayed behind, keep everyone notified.
Dozens of police officers were patrolling the streets tonight looking for any residents in need. And there was one business open, although they weren't making any money. Ray Nasser moved to America from Syria 8 months ago. He's owned Running Springs Fine Foods for the last 3 months, and tonight was making sure first responders had food and cold drinks.
I no need charge nothing.
You got nothing else to do. You might as well just open up the store and hope that somebody come in. There ain't nothing else to do. Got that liquor right there. Want some liquor?
So
everything's free for firefighters?
Yeah, for help for everything in the main fire.
Governor Newsom was in Running Springs today touring the damage from the line fire. On the same day, he declared states of emergency for the airport and bridge fires, both of which have burned multiple homes.
Unfortunately, we did lose some structures, but thanks to the crews that we had on the ground and the air resources throughout the whole night, we were able to save quite a few structures.
The airport fire burning in Orange and Riverside counties hit 23,000 acres today. It remains just 5% contained.
These firefighters do the best they can and do everything they can.
That's a wild boy right there.
These firefighters do the best they can.
That's a wild boy right there. Look like Damon Dash, don't he? Look like Dame Dash out there. Oh, no, dog, don't. Listen, if you don't got no teeth, top, bottom missing, you can't do like this. I don't mind if they crooked, but if you ain't got none, stay off camera. Don't be going out like Dame Dash, big dog. No Dame Dashing on camera. All right, no Dame Dashing on camera. It's so wild, so wild. Anyways, yeah, man, I'm not the type of person that like to take long-term risks. When I invest in something, I invest and I expect to be there for the next 100 years so I can pass it on to my daughter. I don't want to meth dash. I don't want to be in an environment that is going to be wrecked over the next 5 to 10 years. So, yeah, man, pray for the people over there in California. They're going through it like they do every single year. And we can pretty much predict that that's going to be the case as usual. Anthony Boom says, good morning, Bag Chasers, and everyone hit the like button. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Country Boy Finesse says, put me on your team, big dog. I'll work hard for you. Listen, us over here on the Anton Daniels team, we work very hard, but we work very, very efficient. Meaning that we don't have a lot of overhead costs. We bust down the bag with the people that we already got. And we are very, very strategic with our resources as far as how many people that we're going to hire out. If it ain't profitable, I'm not doing it. So I can't just be bringing people on the team just because I like you. I got to see what the value add is. You're going to have to add value. That is one of my interview questions. What value? See, they don't ask y'all this in corporate America because they already want the job, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of bloat. But in what we do over here, the first question that I ask you is, what value do you add? Because if you're not bringing in no revenue, if what you're doing is not adding more value to what it is that we do, see, we don't just want people working hard just for the sake of working hard. That's just being on the treadmill. We want to figure out where the value add is. If it ain't no value add, ain't no money. Ain't no money. That's what y'all need to start asking these women that's in y'all lives. Hey, man, and don't ask it overtly, not to her overtly. Just ask her, like, just try to figure it out. What value is she adding to me? If the only thing that she adds into your life is box, and it's the same thing vice versa with men, right? If the only thing that he adds into your life is that, then we got to make some adjustments. Listen, I'm going to see you when I see you. And don't mean that we're not going to see each other, but for right now, I got to get this money. I got a little girl that go to college. I got some people that I got to take care of. If it ain't no value add, if it ain't no money in it, I can't just have you over here hanging out, baby. You got to go. You got to be for the streets. Be free. Give us free. You got to be free. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back to the super chat. Shout out to my dog, Country Boy Finesse. In the building, Debt-Free Dad says arson is a felony, so the felony murder rule applies. Okay, all right, I'm learning. Delta Fox says we can't go outside in Las Vegas. All the fire smoke from California has dropped the air quality to unhealthy levels. Wow. Mo Wellness says anti-wind monk mode. No hoes. Beautiful and Blessed TV says love your morning show. Shout out to Beautiful and Blessed TV. Might have to get you in the studio for a little interview. You know what I'm saying? Gail Drake says possibly paid off by government to blame on climate change. Climate make change. All right, I see you. Skinny Boy is in the building, says 14th super chat. White girls steal out of Sally's beauty spot. No, they don't. No, you're not going to continue to tell me that my snow bunnies are still. They steal liquor and Walmart sandals. Trust me, I know. Liquor and Walmart sandals. Keep on coming out with a new pair of Crocs, of off-brand Crocs and Stadias every other day. Like, girl, can't keep drinking and stealing every day. They steal liquor. Wild Irish rolls, you know what I'm saying? Not the good stuff. Clay Hart is in the building, says, this is how false climate change are created. Zach says, how much you want to bet he works for State Farm? The Wealth Building Journey says, God bless the first responders. The only thing I can think of is this. It never rains in Southern California. Not sure why people still in Cali. It's a great place to visit, not a great place to stay. Says, I feel you, big dog, grinding every day. We got to keep costs low, profits high. Costs low, profits high. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all, let's spin over and tackle the political aspect of the show right now. And then we're going to get to the other parts of the show because we got some fun stuff to get to. Political aspect of the show is J.D. Vance pulled up on Fox News to talk 9/11, which was yesterday, and Trump and Kamala Harris debate. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock, y'all.
We have the vice presidential nominee, Senator J.D. Vance, joining me now. Good to see you, sir. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here. What was it like down there when you were standing there with the current vice president, the current president of the United States? We saw a little handshake there. What was that moment like between the two of them? You were right there.
Well, it was cordial and polite, but obviously all of us were there to remember the victims of 9/11. And I'd never been there myself. And of course, an incredibly tragic day in our country's history, a sad day, but also a really beautiful ceremony remembering those that we had lost. And as somebody who had never seen it before, I think the person who affected me the most, and there were so many good testimonials, but there was a 29-year-old woman who talked about losing her father when she was 6 years old, 23 years ago. And I have a 7-year-old boy at home. And you think about all the moments that that father was deprived of, all the moments that daughter was deprived of, you know, helping a daughter through first heartache, through homework assignments, through hopefully the moments of triumph, graduation, and hopefully, you know, walking her down the aisle. And you think about all these things that this father gave up and was taken from him, and all the things that were taken from that daughter. And you just can't help but think magnified 3,000 individual stories of lives lost, of families torn apart. And it's also, you know, you talked about this earlier, but all these grandkids who never knew their grandfather, never knew their grandmother, but their memories are kept alive in the love and the stories of their family. And again, it is a very tragic thing, but it also is a very beautiful thing because there's a lot of rebuilding and a lot of hope that came out of that tragedy. So just a very moving experience. I think a big day for all of us to see it with our own eyes and to really feel that tragedy up close and personal.
Well,
let me say this. Do y'all remember where y'all were? Some of y'all wasn't even really outside. Some of y'all was probably too young to even know what 9/11 was really popping. I know it was some people. I had talked to somebody that said that they was born in 2000 and, what did they say, 2010? No, I'm sorry. 2000? 1999, 2000? For the 99 and the 2000, which means that there was, they in their early 20s. I was at the little bar yard yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I made a stop in. Shout out to my bald head sister. She not bald head. She just changed her hair a little bit. She cut all her hair off. There ain't nothing wrong with her. She ain't got no cancer. She just wanted to go with a new look. I said, okay, you looking just like the Dora Myalgia or whatever they are. That be in Black Panther. She was looking just like that, but she was the bartender. Shout out to the bartender. She was a little shapely. I said, okay, I see you, baby. I like your hair. She said, let me get you a drink. I said, no, you're not about to get me a drink today. I know it's my off night, but you're not about to get me fired up. Nope, I'm clear. And I'm in monk mode. And so I was dodging. It was like the Matrix yesterday. Anyways, so I'm sitting at the bar yard, you know what I'm saying, waiting on my carry out. And then, little young thing sat next to me, and I said, how old are you? She said, I like your watch. I said, girl, how old are you? She said, guess. I said, you too young. Any chick that tell you to guess her age, if you ask her how old she is, you too young. I don't care if you're 22, 23, 24 years old. She said, I was born in 2000. I said, oh, get her out of here. Get her out of here. 2000? What is you, 24? You're 24 years old? You got to go. You got to go. Because the 9/11 was on the TV. I said, you even remember 9/11? No, I think I was too young. Get her out. Dano, book her, Dano. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. I'm in monk mode. Hallelujah. Some of y'all wasn't outside. Let me work through it. Let me work through what it is that I'm trying to communicate. I communicate a little differently. We're a little different over here on the Millionaire Morning Show, all right? How many of y'all remember where you were if you wasn't in your daddy's nutsack? How many of y'all remember where y'all were when 9/11 happened? I personally remember where I was. I was at the plant working, and they had it on the break room and the TV, on the TV in the break room, and everybody stopped working. I'm like, wait, hey, what y'all doing shutting the line down? We got to get this Monday. We got to get popping, y'all. And I seen the buildings on fire, and I'm like, oh, here we go. About to be some layoffs. You know what I'm saying? About to be some money. And I believe that George W. Bush personally is the worst president of my lifetime. I know that Trump likes to say that it's Biden, but it's not. It was George W. II. And I still to this day, I will not speak on it because I like my platform and I like the amount of money that they pay me. And I'm very thankful to YouTube for continuing to ship that bag, send that bag. So I won't speak on it specifically because I'm not as courageous as Candace Owens. However, I will say that I still, to this day, you cannot convince me or sell me on the idea that 9/11 is what it is that they presented it to be. I'm not going for it. You're not going to sell me on it. I don't care how much they promote it. There's too many holes in that story, and I'm just going to leave it at that. There's too many holes in that story to go based off of what they say. All right? So 9/11 for me means something different, and I'm just looking at it from the lens of is so many people that got sacrificed. Take it for what mean and what you mean, whatever you want to take it as. I'm not saying people that sacrificed their lives. It's people that got sacrificed, in my opinion, on 9/11. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I got. Let's continue.
Let me ask you this.
Rest in peace, and God bless the families of everybody that happened in 9/11.
Taliban is back in charge in Afghanistan. All these
ain't
years,
no conspiracy theory, Eric. You're not going to get me to talk about it either. There ain't no conspiracy theory. The truth is the truth, whether we like it or not.
Lost. Later, the Taliban's back in charge. We have people on the terror watch list crossing the border. So this is a day that I think it's really important to reflect and recognize these families. But I also think it's really important to think about the threat that exists today.
Of course.
It's not something that we ever hear much about from the White House. What's your take on how much danger we're in now?
Yeah, Martha, we need to prevent this from ever happening again. Of course, what we should take from that moment, from that incredible ceremony this morning is it's terrible and there is a lot of hope that came out of it, but we can't ever let this happen again. Go back to 9/11. That cost $500,000 for al-Qaeda and the Taliban to plan and execute that operation. We have given the Taliban, just since the fall of the Afghan government, hundreds of millions of dollars in direct American taxpayer aid. If they can do 9/11 with $500,000, what can they do with hundreds of millions of dollars of American taxpayer money? Kamala Harris has done nothing to stop that flow of money to the Taliban. At the same time, she's opened the border, allowing God knows how many of those fighters, military-age males, to come into our border completely unchecked and uncontrolled. So I really do believe, as tragic as today is, that we are as a greater risk of a terror attack in this country as we've been since 9/11. I hope to God it doesn't happen, but if it does, God forbid, it will be because Kamala Harris has not done her job and has not kept us safe.
Well, as someone who joined the Marines, I think we're going to listen. The president speaking. Stay with us if you would. Let's listen.
And no, we're looking at it, but you know, when you win, you don't really necessarily have to do it a second time. So we'll see. But I thought we had a great debate last night. Thank you very much.
What would need to change for you to agree to a second debate? Would you want different rules? Would you want a different format?
Well, you know, when you don't win, it's like a fighter. When a fighter has a bad fight, gets knocked out, or loses the fight, the first thing he says is, "We want a rematch." So we won the debate according to every poll, every single poll. I think that, are we going to do a rematch? I just don't know. But we'll think about it.
Would you still do the one on NBC on September 25th? You proposed that. Are you still committed to that?
I would do NBC. I'd do Fox too. I'd do Fox too. But right now we have to determine whether or not we even want to do it. We had a great night last night. And you see by the poll numbers, it was really fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone.
The one thing... let me tell you something. Trump don't believe in conceding on any front whatsoever. Not even a little bit. And I'm going to be honest with you. That's a man thing. That is a manly thing. 1,000% that is a manly thing. Listen, man, you can say what you want. We went in there and we killed it. You know? We made the best of the situation and we killed it. Now, all right, Anton, got to be absolutely real. It was a 3v1. It was. Multiple different things can be true at the same time. I love me some Trump. And one of the things that I love about Trump is he exhibits and he showcases what we all should be as men, a level of masculinity that is now dying and going away with every new generation of man. Men are more feminine than ever. But the reality is this. It was a 3v1, and it was not an A debate. It was a B-. Now, I will say that Kamala Harris was in her lion bag, and because she was, and I'm not talking about the Shannon Sharp growling lion. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the fact that she was a bold-faced liar, like Jim Carrey liar. You know what I'm saying? She was making up a lot of lies. She threw a lot of mudslinging. But she dragged him into a lot of that stuff. And I'm not sure that we could just say that this was an A+ performance, all right? I love you, Prez. I love you, Prez, but it was a B- for me, all right? And I also understand the conditions. So you was in enemy territory, dog. You was trying to figure it out. You was, hey, who am I debating? Am I debating Lindsey Davis? Am I debating Kamala Harris? Who am I debating? And so he went into enemy territory. We got to give him a round of applause for that. But Trump said, listen, we killed it, and we killed it. I like that. I like that. But I don't think that he should do it on any other platform outside of NBC or Fox News. I'm not sure if NBC works, but I think that Fox News, considering that they did it on CNN, considering that they did it on ABC, I believe that J.D. Vance and Trump need to stop conceding and going into enemy territory and putting themselves in harm's way just to showcase, because I don't think that they're appreciated as a result of it. They keep popping up on all of these networks and taking all of these unscripted questions when Kamala Harris ain't doing none of that. But in a way, I almost believe that her strategy may be working on those that may not be informed, because the only thing that they care about is the vibes. Think about it. If the goal is to win by any means necessary, I don't care if we got to throw election interference in there. I don't care if we got to throw some charges on you. I don't care if we just got to avoid press altogether. Keep Tim Walz over here. Keep this over there. We're not going on no other debate shows. We're going to do one little small 18-minute conversation with CNN that is left-leaning, and then we're going to do a whole bunch of campaign rallies, because we know that this woman can't stand up and answer any questions unscripted, especially from people that really got some real questions for her. So what do? You get her out the way. And if that strategy is working, then why would they deviate away from it? If they know that she can't take any unscripted questions and she can't go off of a teleprompter? I see a lot of y'all say, well, she had these super earrings in there. I don't know. I haven't researched it. Until some more evidence can come out that actually substantiates it, I'm not going to necessarily comment on it because I don't really care about it, because the only thing that matters is winning. But if the goal is to win, because that's the only goal, right? I play Monopoly. I will not play Monopoly with my brother, my younger brother. I will not play Monopoly with my younger brother. You know why? Because for some reason, he always want to be the banker. And I can guarantee you it's going to be a couple of extra 500s that's missing every time he become the banker. Because his philosophy is, if you're not cheating, then you're not trying to win. That is his philosophy. His philosophy is, if you are not trying to cheat, you don't want to win bad enough.
Your call has been forwarded.
Maybe he'll call me back. I don't know. That is his philosophy. I said, I can't be out here playing Monopoly with you because you don't play fair. You don't play fair. I got a homeboy. I always bring him with me everywhere I go inside of the city. Usually if I'm going to a major event, I bring him with me. You know why? Because he don't fight fair. He don't believe in knuckling up. He believes in saying, you got it, big dog. And then sweeping you under your legs and then monkey pounding you and then hopefully stomping you before your friends get there. He is a dirty fighter. He is one of the dirtiest fighters that I've ever seen in my entire life. He's not giving you a fair shot. He's not going to wait till you get up. He's going to try to stomp your skull out before your people even find out that you was there. He going to hit first, ask questions later, and he already done got his escape route in his plan. So I said, I got to have this guy with me. He don't play fair. I know some people who literally, they slogan for their company is that we don't play fair. That's what I see the strategy is for the Kamala Harris campaign. Can I blame them? No, that's just the culture of what they are. He a different type of dude. He fight with all of his limbs and everything that he got. He gonna bite you. He gonna use his hands, his feet. He gonna use everything. Choking. Whatever weapons, if it's something around him, if he ain't got that ooh-op shebang with him, he gonna use everything. He gonna bite your ears. He don't care. He don't care. The only thing he care about is coming out on top. You're gonna be maimed. Even if you did, even if you won against him. Even if you won against him. Dog, I remember when we was younger, I seen him poke somebody in the eyes. Hey! I said, dog, what was that? He did not put up snucking with an eye poke. Yeah. I said, dog, what was that? Dog, I had to blind him. Poke him in the eyes, kick him in the nuts. And then he start, dog, what is you doing? I just said, man, let me get out the way. You a different type of fighter. You a different type of monster. He want to maim you. Fight girls, fight guys, pull their hair out. Whatever it is that he could do. Whatever he can grab, he just be reaching for stuff. So, man, get him on the team. Get him on the payroll. That's the Kamala Harris in him. Trump and J.D. Vance is trying to fight fair. No, this is a dirty game, big dog. They are paying people to do whatever it is that they're going to do.
Former President Trump has spent the entire day, really, remembering September 11th, talking to firefighters. He spent a lot of time in there with family members. And you just saw the press asking a question about whether or not there's going to be another debate. Do you think there should be another debate?
I think it's ultimately up to the president. I do think the president had a very good night, and I know the pundits are trying to tell this story that Kamala Harris knocked him off his game or got under his skin. But if you look at how undecided voters reacted to last night, if you look at the complete lack of any real specificity to Kamala Harris' plans, this is a person who's been vice president for 3.5 years, has presided over record inflation, a wide open southern border, and yet has these super vague slogans for how she's going to fix it if the American people give her a promotion. I think most Americans who saw that, they just don't buy it. They don't believe that this person is going to be radically different than she has been in the past 3.5 years. So I think the president had a great night. It's ultimately up to him. Obviously, he likes these debates and he's good at them. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to step back in the ring, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. It's his choice.
Well, you mentioned independent voters, and I always think, we all are so caught up in the coverage. We watch every single second. We watch, we listen to each other's commentary on all of this. But it falls differently, I think, when the American people watch it at home in many ways, because, they're finishing up the dinner dishes and they come back and they watch a little bit more, and then they see a lot of these bits on social media the next day. But this was our dials. Lee Carter does the dials, and I thought this was very interesting this morning when I was watching this. Watch what happens, as you just said, with independent voters. The question was on the economy, and I just want to point out before you look at this, so you don't have to take a second to figure it out. The red line is the Republicans who are dialing up or down for the approval. Yellow is independents dialing up or down, and blue is Democrats watching who are dialing as well. Watch this.
She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else. The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done.
Unfortunately, there were not that many questions about the economy. The number one issue, but that was one of them.
Yeah, which of course was, I think, a real oversight from the moderators. But look, we still talked enough about the economy. You saw the president there making his case. And you obviously see independent voters who are the most important voters. They're the voters who will determine the election, responding very favorably to it. Look, people just don't buy that Kamala Harris is somehow the change agent. She's been vice president for 3.5 years. She supported the open border. She supported ending remain in Mexico. She supported ending deportations. And she, of course, cast the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Explosion Act. So it's hysterical, frankly, for Kamala Harris to say, I represent a departure from the very policies that I've been rubber stamping for 3.5 years. The American people don't buy it. I think the president did a very good job at reminding people just how much Kamala Harris bears responsibility for what's been going on in this country.
And I agree. I think that's one of the things that he did very well. I wish he would have hit on immigration more and they would have hammered her. But again, he was trying to defend himself from the other moderators. One of the things that I do think that he did well, and especially in his final speech and his closing argument, and he said, listen, if this is what you've been experiencing over the last 3.5 years, why do you think that it's going to be any different under a person that was already part of the same administration? You're not even getting a different Democrat. Here's what I want to know from the Democrats. Here's what I want to know from people that look at themselves as liberal, that has always voted Democrat, that's still going to vote Democrat, that actually likes Kamala Harris. I know it's not a lot of y'all in here that's willing to admit it, But here's what I want to know. As we have over 3,000 people in here, and the likes is a little bit anemic, so make sure I hit a like for the algorithm. Here's what I want to know from y'all. If Kamala Harris wasn't the person that y'all selected to be the candidate, and Joe Biden was out, if she had to go through a primary, what other person would you have selected that you think would be a good presidential candidate for the Democratic Party? People that are Republicans, you can comment too. What Democrat can you think of? That's the question of the day. I'm going to start asking y'all a question of the day. What Democrat can you think of outside of Kamala Harris that you would be comfortable, not ecstatic? Maybe you don't necessarily lean into them. Maybe they're not a radically left Democrat. What Democrat, for everybody, whether you're a Republican or whether you're a Democrat, whether you're conservative or whether you're liberal, what Democrat would you be okay with at minimum or excited about being the Democratic candidate? If they had to win, which one would you prefer to be in office is the question that I'm asking y'all. Y'all saying Mitt Romney? No. Mitt Romney is not a Democrat. Mitt Romney is a very, very left-leaning Republican. RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. Well, Tulsi technically, I don't know if she considers herself Democrat anymore. Tulsi, Josh Shapiro. I see y'all saying Tulsi, Josh Shapiro, Tulsi Gabbard. Everybody is saying Tulsi. Vivek is not a Democrat. Andrew Yang, I see Andrew Yang, either Gabbard or Kennedy. RFK is no longer a Democrat. He's an independent. He's an independent as far as I know, okay? Wes Moore, Sanders, Michelle Obama. Tulsi is an independent, awesome. Gavin Newsom? Oh, no. Y'all was going to Gavin? Gavin? I see a lot of people are saying Tulsi, but Tulsi is an independent. RFK Jr. is an independent. All right, so y'all can't pick them. Pick somebody else. I've seen some people saying Shapiro. I'm seeing some people saying Roy Cooper, Andrew Yang. Y'all can't go with RFK, and you cannot go with Tulsi Gabbard. Dean Phillips, Wes Moore, Michelle Obama. Y'all would go with Michelle Obama? Wow. Y'all would go with Gavin Newsom? All right, let me hear a little bit more what my dog, JD Vance, had to say, and then we're going to get into some more of the show.
I want to ask you another question about the military, because this is a moment when she claimed that we don't have any combat veterans in action at this moment. And as a former veteran, or as a veteran, I should say, I want to ask you about this. Let's watch this.
As of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world.
Incredible. And for me, it's a bookend to President Biden on June 27th saying that no one had been killed. No American service member had been killed, which to ignore what happened at Abbey Gate was so reprehensible. I think it's one of the reasons that he's no longer in the race. Well, but your take on what she said.
Martha, it's astonishing for the vice president to say this. Just a couple of weeks ago, you had American troops who were seriously injured, likely by Iranian-backed militias. The fact that she actually serves as the vice president and is apparently unaware that the people serving underneath her are not just in harm's way, they're not just in a combat zone, Martha. They have been actually injured in just the last couple of weeks. And again, it shows how thin and superficial Kamala Harris's entire approach to public policy is. This is a person who doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know what's going on around the world. She can't articulate her own economic policies. She can't tell what's different about her policies from Biden's policies. There's just not a whole lot of substance there. And whatever your disagreements about Kamala Harris's policies, and I have many, I don't want a vice president who doesn't even know that we have troops in harm's way. That's not a leader that's fit to serve.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris. I've never been a fan of Kamala Harris. Y'all didn't even like Kamala Harris in 2019. I don't know what's changed over the last 4 years. Y'all didn't like Kamala Harris in 2019 and 2020. I'm not sure what changed over the last couple of years or the last few years that gave y'all all of this vigor that wants to support Kamala Harris. Why wasn't the support there in 2020 when she ran against Biden and she called him a racist? I don't know. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Thank y'all for all of the feedback inside of the chat. Let me read some of these super chats. Sly Guy says, they rolled out the TV at the school on 9/11. Yeah, I remember that. They used to have the fatback TVs too. Mr. Lott says, I was in 4th grade. Aaliyah had just passed a few weeks prior. I thought all plans were cursed. It's crazy. Mr. Joe says, this is for the collection. Thank you, Mr. Joe. We like all things that go in the collection plate. We like the one that fold and we like the one that jingle. You know what I'm saying? The guy experience is in the building. The guy experience says, on the way to social studies class, seen smoke in the distance, got 2 to the class and class was stopped. Kids' parents came to get us for the rest of the day. Kids couldn't wait to get any reason to get out of school. This is for the building fund. Shout out to my people, AJ. This is for the building fund. Enos Luby is in the building, says, I was on a flight from LA to London. Security was on another level when we landed. We had almost 200 missed calls from my friends and family. You was on a flight? Illinois Bank says, I remember the newspaper on 9/11 was talking about how Bush's low approval, he had the intel and let it happen. Also, the wars we fought as a response to the attacks drove up our debt from the surplus we had when he took office. It was a really, really good trope and cool that they had going on there. That's just my opinion. The Masked Man says Kamala was consistent in baiting Trump like AD in black shirts. I love my black shirts. Foodie to the A. Shout out to Joshua Wilson. Diplomat 3414. Dipset. Shout out to Jules Santana and his teeth. I just wanted to remind everyone to tell ones you love that you love, that love you. All right, so let me reread this. I just want to remind everyone to tell the ones you love that you love and appreciate them while they are here, because you never know when they will be gone. That's a true statement. Incorrect typos, couple typos, but I get it. Shout out to you. My dog Kojak in the building says, fair fight. Where they do that at? Dirty Kojak is in the building. Michael Russell, shout out to Michael Russell, says, my mom asked me who I was voting for. I said Trump. She asked why. So I listed a plethora of reasons. The convo basically turned into me rebuking and exercising the demon out of her. Listen, my mom is the same way. You don't believe me? I ain't about to call her. I ain't gonna call her because then she's gonna get mad at me. My mom don't deal with me on that type of level. She respects me, but she is 100% blue. Boy, I tell you, your parents ain't the only one. We got older parents. They come from a different time and a different age. They don't believe in ever voting red. How they got the busy signal?
Hello, Anton. How are you?
What's going on? I'm on a live stream. I got a question for you.
Uh-oh. Okay, go.
Who are you voting for in this election?
Kamala. It would be Kamala. You can't pay me money to vote for Trump. I don't know what happened to you. How'd you get there? Okay.
What? Am I crazy?
You are.
Why do you think I'm crazy?
Yeah. Because if you can't see what is happening with this buffoon, then something is loose with you too. Something's wrong. Something is definitely wrong there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever voted for a Republican ever in your life?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because why would I do that? Hold on one second. Okay, I hook up to my headset in the grocery store. Because it just, there's no reason to. I mean, I'm a Democrat, and I believe in everything about them. And even the things that I don't believe about them, I don't have no regard or respect for the Republican Party.
What happened to me? What do you think happened to me?
I don't know. I think a lot of it had to do with when you started getting money, started making money. The more money you got, the different perspective you took on. You took on a whole different way of thinking and life and living, and that's pretty typical. I don't know what happened to you, how you got there, if you got me, but I wish you weren't. There's nothing I can do about it. It doesn't diminish our love in any way. Just why, Anton? Why?
Why what?
You tell me how you got there.
How did I turn Republican?
Yes, tell me.
Because I woke up and I realized that Democrats is absolutely the worst things for us. Think about it like this, right? I'll give it to you from a logical perspective. I ain't gonna talk about the financial part of none of that.
Oh, hold on one second, babe. Did I do that too soon? I'm checking out at the grocery store. I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute.
Is this not the greatest morning show on earth? Because see, I'm gonna call my mama and I had a real conversation. This is the greatest morning show on earth because I'm gonna have a real conversation. This is all of our mothers. This is all of our parents. This is all of the people in our family.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so think about it like this. Do you think that we are a conservative family?
Yes and no. Thank you so much.
You say yes or no?
Yes and no.
We believe in a separation of church and state. We believe in conservative principles, especially around the Bible. All of the things, not even the money, not even a policy perspective. All of the things that I see happening from people that are liberal and Democrat is against our very beliefs. We don't believe in open borders. As a matter of fact, when we was in church, when we was really, really in church, we used to pray against open borders. That was a part of our prayers.
That's true.
So we used to pray for American values, for closed borders, and then also when it comes to all of this gender affirmation and pushing these agendas and men can use women bathrooms.
We're all against all of that.
Oh, and so how can I align myself with a party?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
So how can I align myself with a party that goes against every single thing that I believe in as far as how I was raised?
Okay. So, yeah, I can agree with you on all of those principles. On the other hand, we keep praying against those very things, but you got a buffoon that's leading us into an unknown world of no more standards or beliefs and nothing that's going to work for the people. And I wouldn't necessarily say just for Black people, but nothing that is going to work for the people. He doesn't even communicate there's no education. The only education he really had in his life was when his parents sent him to boarding school, and he literally paid people to do his SATs and to write his reports for him. He had no sense of no common sense. He has no education. He has nothing that's going to help anybody but him. And it's like Stevie Wonder could see this. I mean, it's like it's the saddest thing I've ever heard of in my life. A freaking criminal, and people are going to pay him to rule them. People are going to actually vote. Please take charge of me. And he has no charge of his own self, his own. He don't have no values. He has nothing to offer that's beneficial. It's the saddest thing that.
Ma, you've never voted for a Republican or even considered a Republican in the first place.
No, but even if there was one that that had something to offer would be worth listening to. This guy has nothing to offer.
Let me ask you one more question. Can you think of, how is the majority of our family voting?
Oh, Democrat for sure. That's not it's not hard to come up with. Absolute Democrat.
And I'm the black sheep on that issue.
Yeah, you try to be. You try to be a black sheep, in a lot of things. But you are you, and so I'm not trying to persuade you one way or another because I know you're not going to go that route. I just love you for who you are, and it's unfortunate that you. You know what? Let me tell you what I thought about you the other day. I thought about you the other day, and it's like, okay, so you are in, who was it? Gino. Gino described you as a genius.
Gene, my brother?
My son, your brother, he said, because he was going through the family, and he's like, he said, who all are super smart. There's a lot of genius that runs in our family. And then he said, but the only thing is geniuses have a borderline, and they don't always have balance. He said, like Anton is a genius that doesn't have balance. He's one of those kind of geniuses. And once you get stuck on one thing, you can't persuade you to go the other way. And it's usually the opposite of what common sense would take you. And that's how geniuses lose. They don't all, like my brother, Robert. He's a genius that's so twisted. It's like, oh my God, dude. So if they don't know about Robert, Robert is the oldest brother, my oldest brother, and he didn't even have to go to law school. He just took the test, the Juris Doctorate test, and became an attorney. But he's so off kilter, no balance. He's like sweet as apple pie, but I hate to say this publicly, but he got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm gonna leave it at that. It's like the common sense factor. Sir, you can't see that that's not proper or correct, or it's a whole nother level. So that's the way Gino described you. Anton is that genius that it's like, dude, smart as a whip. Smart.
I'm a C student.
You keep saying you're a C student. You keep saying C student, so people will think that you're not smart. But you are, and it comes natural. You got the gift of gab. You got all these gifts that God gave you, and it was prophesied in advance that you had all these gifts and that you would be rich and everything that was prophesied when you were, even before you were born. There was a dream I had a dream that you could see. There were eyes that you could see out of while you were inside of me, indicating that you had the gift of insight. You have so many gifts, but the common sense factor is skewed. Really, if you listen to that debate and how out of control this fool was, there's no way on the world you could not see in this Project 2025 is like, you're gunning for suicide. Really? Who wouldn't be able to see that? But you're going to vote for that? This man can't even talk. He don't even have proper diction. He can't even form a correct sentence. He sounds like a child that's like 3 years old trying to describe how, because my father is great. He's a bigger, greater one. He's the one that's the biggest. What? It's like, and somebody's going to vote for him? So, yeah, Gino was describing you. He's like, Anton, he's so smart. That's the smartest. He's the smartest one of all. Gregory has the genius ability, but he's got balance because he's got common sense. That's going to open up this other door and this other window where you can see through that says, But your genius, the door is closed. The windows are closed.
My whole life that I was raised, I always asked questions that everybody else was uncomfortable with.
That's all right.
And they called me they would call me the black sheep as a result of it. They would say that I'm the antagonist, that I'm the bad guy, that I'm the black sheep and all of this. But I was just asking questions because it didn't make sense to me. Like, why are we doing this, what we doing? And it don't make sense.
Okay, so who's the common denominator there?
What do you mean?
The common denominator. If everybody is saying that that's not the right way to go, that if you go down that street, Anton, there's a ditch and you're going to fall in it. It's going to cover you with mud and you're going to drown. And so you being the black sheep says, oh, but I can avoid the ditch. I can jump over. The ditch is really not as deep as y'all think it is. I know it's 200 of y'all saying that you're going to drown in that ditch, but I think that I'm not. So then what happens? The black sheep goes down and tries to jump over the ditch and falls in. And everybody's looking like, what? Did he just go down there and do that? But why? But see, in your mind, there's always a way. I can avoid it. And it's not going to happen because of this, that, and the other. And so what's the common denominator? Everybody's right, but you're wrong. But you're right. I mean, come on now. It's like saying, an alcoholic that says, I'm not an alcoholic, and they got a bottle of wine in their hand. And it's like, you're an alcoholic. No, I'm not. This is just things that I like. Okay, so what's the common denominator? That you're an alcoholic.
I just know what I know. I know I'm right.
I rest my case.
I know I'm right.
Say it again. There you go.
Listen.
You said it.
Everybody else is wrong. They are wrong. They are wrong as two left shoes.
Everybody's wrong?
Yes, I'm not. I can't group think. I'm not a group
I'm
rider.
not trying to change you.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't group ride on motorcycles. I don't group think with people. Right. I want to hear what other people got to say, but then I have to use common sense, insight, information to make a more informed decision.
Really?
Yes.
See how you see? Can the people hear where I'm coming from? Can they get it? They get it.
Everybody in my family.
Everybody in the world is wrong but me. Go ahead.
They crazy.
Again.
They all are wrong.
Crazy.
They're wrong. They're wrong.
Oh.
They're wrong.
Well, go ahead.
Listen. Remember. All right, so look.
I cannot wait to say.
Remember when?
I told you not to go down that
Remember
road.
when back in 07, 08, we were in the kitchen, and I don't know if you was in there, but I was telling y'all, this was back in like 04, 05, 06, 07, around that area. And I said, listen, real estate, houses is not an asset. The crash is coming. This is happening, whatever, so on and so forth. And they called me crazy. I predicted it. I said that it was going to happen. I was saying, hey, look, this is what we need to invest in. This is why we don't sell the houses. This is why we're going to keep this. This is why we're going to. I was right. I've been right.
Yeah.
I've been right.
Yeah. So there are some things that the genius abilities does work for, but not in everything. You have to be able. Let me tell you how it works. You have to be open-minded enough to listen, observe, and maybe make changes if they are necessary to be made. So it's like things. Once upon a time in my life, I thought I knew everything that you thought. You could not tell me. You couldn't pay me not to get married to my first husband. Everybody. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I mean, but at the same time, but hold on. But listen. They told hold on. Listen. They told Rita not to marry me. They said that Rita was crazy for marrying me. That I was crazy.
They was right. Oh, snap. They was right. See.
Ma, I gotta continue with the show.
Where fault comes into play is when you don't have an open mind. I was going to say, once upon a time, could nobody tell me nothing. But I grew and I matured and I opened up and I started listening and realizing that I'm not the only one right. In fact, I'm not right at all. There are other factors that include right and wrong. So you have to weigh them all out. The end. I rest my case. Go ahead.
All right, I'm about to go.
All
right, bye. Anyways, my mom is on her second husband because my father passed away in 2017, for those of y'all that is new to the channel. So she is remarried. She was widowed, and so now she is remarried. But my father was just like me, and it was like, no, he crazy. And then look at all of the greatness that he grew. I don't know, man. Look, y'all gonna have to understand. And the whole point of that call, thank you, Michael Russell, for the super chat. The whole point of the call is to show you that you may come from a certain ilk, you may come from a certain environment, but we all are dealing with the same thing. We are all dealing with the same thing. Some of y'all think that you're so unique, that it's only your family. When I speak on these platforms, and I love my family and I love my mom to death. I love my brothers. I love all of them. When I speak on these platforms, I'm speaking from real life experiences. Before I ever made it to the internet, and they said that I was the black sheep and Anton, why you doing this or whatever, so on and so forth. I was dealing with it in real life with my own family. Every day, dude, when I grew up, and then we would be in Bible study or something like that, or, they would say, hey, y'all, we all voting Democrat, or we all gonna vote for this person. And I was like, I was just a person. I was the black sheep. I was like, but why? And then they were like, oh my God, here goes Anton again. He always got to go against what everybody else is saying. And I said, no, I just want to know, why are we voting for this guy? Why are we voting Democrat? Because we would do group conversations. Why are we voting Democrat? Because we don't like Republicans. I was like, and I would ask the questions and I would say, but look, y'all, everything that we praying for, and we would pray, honestly, we would pray, hey, close the borders, do this, do that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, but everything that we voting, that we praying against, this person is saying that that's what they want to do. Everything that we praying against. I warned people. I said, look, man, this was in 2003, 2004. I said, look, y'all, we got to stack our money. We got to be careful. The crash is coming, a recession. The stocks is going to absolutely plummet. It's going to be on a discount. We got to make sure that we're making the right decisions when it comes to purchasing these houses. We don't want to be this. We don't want to be that, whatever. Look, y'all, I'm telling you, I was saying this in 2003. I said, look, we can't look at houses this way. It's a crash coming. Don't take out that people will come to me. Oh, man, I'm about to go buy this house. How you buying this house? Well, I'm getting an ARM. Don't get an ARM. Don't get an adjustable rate mortgage. This is what I was reading. This is what I'm studying in the markets. I was telling them in 2003, 2004, 2005, we all sitting in the kitchen, we all sitting there and we talking. I said, look, y'all can't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. This is coming. This is going to make us super duper rich. We just got to prepare. We got to put ourselves in this position. And boy, if I wasn't right on the money, if I did not hit that bullseye 10 times over, and from that day, after 2007, 2008, I said, all right, I'm gone. I was one of the first people. Look, I left the church. I said, look, this don't line up. This ain't making sense. I got to go out and I got to figure it out for myself. Because I love y'all, but I got to go. I got to go do my own thing. I got to figure it out for myself. Men have to have the courage to change the dynamics. Let me remove this. Thank you, Michael Russell. I appreciate you. Men have to have the courage to go out and change the dynamic and the trajectory of their family. It cannot be the same thing over and over again. I said, man, life got to be more than this. It's got to be more. It's got to be more money out there. It's got to be more opportunity. I see it. I can do it. We can build it. This is what we do. I could tell y'all so many stories of me telling y'all, hey, man, we got to do this. Hey, man, we got to do that. Hey, this is what we got to go into. Social media is taking over. We need to go into social media marketing for our businesses. We need to create YouTube channels. It's coming. It's coming. They about to monetize YouTube. I know it's coming. Man, I had these conversations 10 times over, and they told me I was crazy. They told me I was insane. Anton, you don't know what you're talking about. You crazy. You need to just go and get a regular job, do this and do that. I said, I do got a regular job. Go get another regular. No. Nope. I'm doing something different. And I'm the richest in my family. I changed the trajectory of everything. I take care of multiple people. I hire people from my family. But they just won't. I don't know why they on this plantation, this Democratic plantation. And they say, Anton is crazy. I don't know why he a Republican. He changed because he got money. No, I changed before I got money, and then the money was the confirmation. As a result of that, I knew what I was talking about. I changed before the money. And I was, telling y'all, we all are dealing with the same things. Black people. This is a conversation for black people right now. Because this is a cultural curse that we have on us. We have a curse in our families that it has to be broken, and it's not going to be broken overnight. This is a thing that has to be broken long term. This is a long-term thing, right? Meaning that as much as you love your family, they getting older, and they gonna have to go. We not trying to save them. They are what they are. They made the decisions of their life. They stand firm in it. They're never going to change. They never going to consider any other candidate whatsoever. They're not changing as much as we love them. And we can love them, but we gotta forge a new path forward. We can't keep, it's the same thing when it comes to finances. It's the same thing when it comes to voting. It's the same thing that comes to your principles. We gotta go and forge a new path forward by letting go of some of those generational curses from the past. I can't do that. I can't go into that. I don't want to watch no more slave movies. I can't watch another slave movie. I done watched too many slave movies. Kunta Kinte. What's the one with Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman? Glory. I's got no shoes, boss. I'm sorry, General. I need new shoes for all of my soldiers. 10, 17, 12 years a slave. Okay, I got it. Slavery existed. Now what? Malcolm X. Like, I'm done. I'm all slaved out. What's next? I don't want to keep hearing about y'all's stories. It's another way forward for us. I can't keep falling into the same Democratic plantation mentality. And I'm telling you, our families got it bad, but we got to divest ourselves from it. It's some stuff that we just got to break off from. When I'm having this conversation with y'all, I'm not having this conversation telling you to do something that I'm not already dealing with and went through and going through myself. I've always been looked at as the black sheep because I was always like, nah, We could do this way different, and it's going to have different results from us, but we got to divest ourselves from this broken mentality. And most of my family like, Trump is a white devil. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So I was the outcast before some of y'all even stepped off the porch. I was always the outcast. What they not telling you was that when I went down that pathway and they said that it was a ditch down there, it was really a bag of money in that hole. So I picked up the money, I walked around the ditch, and then I went towards a success. It was a clue to success in that hole. Because when I see everybody going one way, I'll be thinking to myself, the Bible say, the word of God say that the path of righteousness is narrow. Is narrow, and that hell enlargeth itself. I don't want to go the same way that the majority of the people is going. I got to figure out, are they going the right way or are they all going towards the slaughter? You know what? Rich people is the 1% for a reason. They make different decisions than what the majority of the people say. I told the people in my family, this is the last thing I'm going to say. We're going to move over to the next thing. I told the people in my family, I said, listen, bro, I know you think you know, but I'm going to be richer than you. I'm going to be richer than all of y'all. I'm going to be richer than everybody else here. And I'm going to completely change the world, and I'm going to change people's perspectives. And I'm going to reach a demographic of people, and I'm going to build my own community. That's what I said. I told them. I said, I'm going to build my own community. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to play out. But God told me to separate myself and go forward and forge a new path and reach a whole nother demographic of people. And I'm just going to lean on faith. I know what I know. I'm armed with the information, and I'm going to give it to the people, and I'm going to make sure that they become what they become. And they called me crazy. They said I was crazy. I said, I know what God's voice sounds like, and I know what he told me to do. I know what he told me to do. And he said, you've learned everything that you could learn. You got everything you can get out of this. It's time to go forward. You ready? You're ready. And then he gave me my wife, and he said that you can trust her. That's what he said. He said, her, you can trust. She'll never turn on you. You can trust her. She gonna ride with you. That's what he told me. That is honest to God, word for word. He said, you can trust this one. This one is going to have your back. I never told y'all this story, and I'm sorry we're getting a little bit derailed, but I'm going to get back to the show. I never told y'all this story, but God picked my wife. God surrounded me with the right people. And I trusted him. I chose my wife based off of listening to the voice of God. He said, that one you can trust. It was another girl that existed in my life. And he said, that one is going to ruin your life. That one you can trust. That one is going to ruin your life, and that one you can trust. And I went with the one that I've always, even to today, even right now, I always lean on God. I always lean on God. I pray on every decision that I make. Every single one of them. Every decision that I make, I pray on it. And then I look for confirmation, and I look for a sign. And he always gave it to me. You cannot tell me that God is not real. You cannot tell me that I'm not right. Because it's not me that's making the decisions. It's the decisions that's given to me. And so I'm always going to go forward. And I got 100% faith in what it is that I do, because he has not led me wrong yet. Not one time has he ever led me wrong. Not once. I know what I know. I know what I know. And I just believe so hard, so fervently in what I'm doing. I am 100% in. I don't have a foot out. I'm not scary about it. I am 1,000% in on what I'm doing. And so that's why I speak with conviction. That's why I talk the way that I talk. That's why I'm so confident in what I do, because I take the information and the knowledge and I put it to work, and it worked every single time. Every investment, every play, every prediction, every every innovative thing that I've ever came up with, anything that I come up with, any dream that I dream, I go and I pray on it. That's the first thing that I do. I go and I pray on it. And I ask God, I say, is this what you want me to do? Is this the play? And he gives me the confirmation. He tells me yes or no. And then I look for a witness in it. And then I look for confirmation and I go forward. And I'm 100% in. I don't waver. I don't do any of that stuff. I just go. And so even when people, and this is inspiration for y'all, and then we're going to get back to the show. Even when people are against you, the whole world could be against you. The whole internet be against me sometimes. And I just go forward and I don't care what they think. And at the end of the day, a year afterwards, 2 years afterwards, I look back on it and I was right and I'm better than them and I win every single time. And anybody that has ever gotten in my way has suffered. Anybody that was got in my way or did not get on the wave, either they missed out on the train or they suffer as a result of going against me. Every last one of them. Nobody can stand against me. It's not a soul on the face of this earth that can face me, debate me, go against me, or even stand in my way. You will get rolled over. You are nothing but a speed bump. I will take on any comer, anybody that want to step in my way. You are going to fall. I guarantee it. I put my life on it. I bet everything that I got that you will fall. It's nothing that you can do because I have something that's for me that you can't even fathom. It's not even me all the time. It's the thing that powers me. It's the thing that pushes me. I move with so much confidence. I don't even have a fearful bone in my body. I have an expectation of greatness. Every single thing that I've done in my 42 years has led me to here, right now. It's 100% faith. 100% faith. Have no fear whatsoever at all. I know what I know. I know what I know. So y'all better start getting some faith. Y'all better start buckling down and deep diving into it. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Man, we got a lot of super chats. I'm sorry. We go off script. We say what we want to say. We do what we want to do. And we are what we are. We are what we are, and we're going to do what we do. All right? Let me read some of the super chats, and we're going to go from there. Y'all got to have confidence. You have to have confidence that God put you on this earth for a reason, and you have to fulfill that purpose no matter what it is. And understand that with that comes the money, comes the accolades, comes the success. The money comes with it. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. Don't worry about the money. Be prepared. The opportunity is going to come. That's where success comes from. But understand that it's in your greatness that you're going to achieve all of these things, but you got to have some confidence. And every time that you fall and stumble, it's not always something that's wrong. It's a lesson that's being taught to you so that you can prepare yourself for the bigger thing. Have some confidence, have some faith, stand tall, stand up to your girlfriend, stand up to your parents. Know that you know what you know. You know what it is. You hearing this right now for a reason. This is not something that I plan to do. This is just something that just came out as a result of it. Lean into it. Lean into it hard. It's going to work out. It always does. Every single time it works out, you will not die. It is going to work out in your benefit. Do the right thing. Make sure that you stand tall in it. And know that nothing can stop you. The only time that anybody can touch you, the only time that anybody can harm you, and if you read your word, then you would understand this. The only time that the devil can touch you is if God let him. He got to get permission to touch God's people. He got to get permission. And I'm talking about people that really believe, people that's really going forward in what it is that you told to do. He got to get permission to touch you. That's how much confidence you got to have. They can't do nothing to you. They got to get permission to even be in your presence. That's the way it go for those that just live this life. It's just the way it is. We are meant to be successful, and we got to accomplish what we accomplish. We got to go forth and fulfill our mission. It's nothing nobody can do to stop you. Nothing. Nobody. Nobody can stop you. Nobody. Not one soul, not one person that's breathing on this earth has power or dominion over you. All right. Let me read some of these super chats. Joshua Wilson, I'm gonna read half and then I'm gonna read the next half afterwards. Repackage is repackage A is still repackage A at the end of the day. Shout out to Joshua Williams. I rock with you. David Simpson Jr. says only women would want Gavin Newsom for obvious reasons, not to do with politics. I'm not going to say repeal the 19th Amendment, but so you don't want women out there voting. Turtle says RFK would have went to the wire with Trump as a Democrat. Sly Guy 23 says, remember these nuts had 15% of the vote in one state. Shout out to my rich friends. I appreciate you. You made me so much money and gave me a different mindset. I work hard and I'm at peace, and that's why I appreciate you, virtual family. I look to bless others. Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, Chris James. And run that bag up, big dog. Turtle Island says 2.3 trill. Missing before 9/11. No way it's not a plot. Mo Wellness is in the building. Says NPC Dems and their shaming tactics is sign language. Shadow Dragon TV says same thing with my mind. Big dog can relate. Tevin King says morning Saturday in chat at 7:29 a.m. in California. I just got home and began taking my shoes off and felt the place shaking. 3 earthquakes in 4 weeks. Really? Forsaken Archive says you're gonna go viral again. It is what it is. I speak from my heart. T. Wright says, I'm blessed to have convinced my mother that we are God-fearing. She taught me to be conservative, so it's an easy vote. Don't be lukewarm. Olivia Harmon says, Anton, you have your mom listen to Kevin West. Vote for truth on iHeart. He gives a Christian perspective on voting. Listen, my mom is who she is. She's not changing for nobody. I don't care who talk to her. I can't talk to her. Nobody can talk to her. My mom is going to vote how she vote. Moms is in her feelings, so no policy is mentioned. Wealth Building Journey says, ask moms what have the Dibs done for the last 70 years? They don't care about that. They are what they are. TM says, you can pray against something, then vote for what you prayed against. Our elders be lost sometimes. Got to be Stockholm syndrome. CEO Steve says, your convo with mom was therapy for me. I'm a black sheep for my family too. Stand strong. That is definitely all of our mothers and some of our fathers and some of our elders. Unbiasedly Raw says, my Dukes ain't have to do this. We love you, Ma. Yeah, we love her no matter what, but we still gonna rock with her. I'm gonna read some more of the super chats as we go throughout the show. Thank you to everybody that continue to rock with me. Let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. All right. I'm gonna continue to read super chats, but people are expressing frustration with repos is next, and migrants. New York is paying migrants over $4,000 to leave. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save the repo conversation for next week. Let's focus on this migrant thing.
All right, a new pilot program from the city awarding up to $4,000 grants to migrant families who exit the shelter system and find their own housing.
Fox 8's Jessica Formoso takes a closer look at how the program works and if it's working so far.
A shelter is an emergency solution that is intended for the short term. It is important that that short-term solution is safe and healthy, and that we are providing families with an opportunity to get back on their feet.
The New York City Department of Homeless Services is offering up to $4,000 to migrant families with children and pregnant women who are currently residing in a city shelter. It's called the Asylee Move Out Assistance Program, a pilot program that began last December, helping asylum seekers transition from a shelter to permanent housing. So far, 150 families have benefited from the program.
We've done 150 families starting about 7 months ago. I think we've had one person from a family, not even the whole family, come back. So that is.
Imagine we live in a world. Imagine the United States of America that you grew in. I pledge allegiance. You said it all in school. We got, a way in which we're supposed to operate in this country. And now we are existing in an environment where they're saying that they're willing to pay migrants $4,000 to find their own housing that we're paying for. Even the migrants is like, you know what, let me evaluate this because the way that my checking and savings is messed up because I spent a lot of the money that y'all gave me off my EBT card and all of this money that y'all been giving me. And so you want to give me an extra $4,000 just to leave the shelter? Let me go and work this out with my advisor. Imagine we live in a country where they left the borders open and the very people that we about to vote for are the ones that are replacing you. The very people that we about to vote for are the ones that are replacing you. That they are giving them resources. I ain't never in my life, not one time in my life, I have never, ever, ever heard of, thought of, could contemplate. If you go into a homeless shelter tomorrow, guess what? If you overextend your stay, they kicking you out. What do you mean they're going to pay you to leave? So you came in here illegally. You don't even have no ID. You don't even speak the language. And you're getting money and incentivized to leave. They have to pay you to leave. This is happening over in New York. They are paying you to leave. Think about the environment that we live in and think about the fact that they are willing to give them $4,000. $4,000 each to leave. They are developing a program to give away tax dollars in cities that are overran with migrants, money to leave.
Is, in my mind, a very strong success rate thus far.
The one-time grant is modeled after the enhanced one-shot deal program for those in the traditional homeless shelters, only to be used for first and last month's rent, security deposits, moving expenses, and household supplies.
It really is for documented expenses related to permanent housing. So that could be first and last month's rent. It could be moving expenses, household supplies, things that somebody who is brand.
Our veterans are on the street. We have veterans that are on the street that couldn't even get adequate health care until Trump came into office to focus on veteran affairs and trying to fix a system that was broken for decades. They are giving them moving expenses. First and last month's rent. I don't think that I'm a genius at all. I don't even remotely think that I'm a genius. This is common sense. You don't have to be a savant in order to understand what the heck is going on out in these streets that they replacing y'all. They are giving them dog. Go to any government agency as an American citizen and ask them for $1,000, let alone $4,000, and see how that's going to get you. You know what that's going to get you? A first-class ticket to your head going against that glass on your way out the door and getting thrown on the street. Walk in there and ask for some money and if you want to and see what's going on. Man, this is crazy. This is insane.
Brand new to the country, brand new to permanent housing, might not have. But the shelter providers are really looking at documentation.
The money is coming from DHS' existing budget. Since the program is only a pilot, it is not offered at every migrant shelter, but only at 62 sites for now. The families
only at 62 migrant shelters inside of New York
themselves have to find housing, and once they do, they work with the not-for-profit providers operating at the shelters who help them with the process.
It makes financial sense because shelter is very expensive, and this is a targeted one-time payment.
I was talking to somebody. Look at this person with purple hair, earring in her nose, don't know how she got braces. What kind of health care is that? Looks nice and healthy, nice and juicy, and got purple eyebrows. And the piercing in the lip too. I didn't even see that one. What a son, with a book bag that goes to the same school as your kid. And this is the type of people that you decide to help. How much do you want to bet that this person is going to grow up? I did a review video yesterday of a woman that was saying that she's going to have all of her Haitian friends vote Democrat, because they don't like the fact that we're calling out on the Republican side what's happening in Springfield, Ohio. Matter of fact, let me play a video from Springfield, Ohio to let y'all know, and this is courtesy of PBS. Check this out.
Today, the small city of Springfield, Ohio, found itself at the center of a fraught election year issue, immigration. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance claims that Haitian migrants in Springfield are, quote, draining social services and causing chaos. He's also repeated a baseless rumor already debunked by city officials.
It wasn't debunked. That's a lie. It wasn't debunked. And he said reports now show, which was 100% true.
about pets being abducted and eaten, a story amplified by right-wing media and Elon Musk online.
Over the last 4 years, Springfield has seen its small population grow by over 20%, driven almost entirely by immigrants. William Brangham recently went to Springfield to understand how the city is coping.
The sounds of Haitian Creole carrying across soccer fields, in grocery stores, in restaurants dishing up the popular Haitian street food pâté codé. It's striking hearing all this in the heartland of the United States, Springfield, Ohio. Springfield's a small blue-collar city.
Dog, do you know how hard it was for me to actually take out 100, and I remember the number to the penny. It was $114,000.07. I took out $114,000 of my own money and 7 cents and built my own restaurant. How are they able to do this? How? I put blood, sweat, and tears and invested in my own dreams and didn't take out one loan. Not one. Not one. Blood, sweat, and tears of my own money. Built it with our own hands. You know how difficult it was in order for us to do that? And I had a good job. I had a phenomenal job. I was working in corporate America, making a bag, killing it. My businesses was thriving and taking off. I had to take out $114,000 of my own money in order to do this. How? How, dog? And don't tell me to chill on your people, because let me tell you something. My people are Americans. And if you decide that you're coming over here and you came over here legally, then you are also my people. But I don't align with illegal anything. I don't like people selling drugs on the street. I don't like people selling box and not paying their taxes. I am not for illegal immigration. I don't know where y'all missing that from. I don't care what culture you from. I don't care if you're from Russia. I don't care if you're from Haiti. As long as you got over here the right way, then I'm all for you. But I don't believe in illegal anything. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. Are we missing something?
With a familiar story. Much of the factory work left decades ago, and the residents followed. A community of more than 80,000 emptied out to less than 60. That is, until the last few years.
Our churches, we see new people.
In the pews.
Yes, absolutely.
Wes Babian was the pastor at First Baptist Church for almost 20 years.
For years, we've lost people, but
Dude,
you
got
hope
an Haitian
somebody else
pastor
will
now?
come and take their place. That hasn't happened here.
Until now.
Because there are folks from Haiti who are coming to church.
Lukens Merzus, who, among his many other jobs, mans the soundboard for Sunday services, is one of those new Haitian members.
Why Springfield?
Of all places. Merzus, with his wife and daughter, were among the first Haitian families to arrive here in 2018.
I got a decent...
And you know what the funniest part about it is? I don't even blame them. You can't blame them. You cannot blame them for taking advantage of the opportunity that's presented to them. Do what they gonna do what's best for them. If the borders is open, the borders is open. The responsibility is not on them. The responsibility is on the federal government. And if this is a stressful ass show today. This is a stressful show. How do y'all not hold y'all leaders accountable? What you think that if you open up your house, right? If you go home and you say, you know what, homeless man, I have a warm bed for you to sleep in, and I'm gonna pay your bills, and I'm gonna make sure that your family is taken care of, and you get health care coverage, and you can go to school, and I'm gonna take you and your daughter to school, and you can live for free, and I'm gonna pay you to live here. What do you think that homeless man is gonna do? He's gonna be like, oh, are you gonna give me your wife too? I'll take your wife too if you want me to. I'm not going to blame the homeless man for me opening up my doors. You got to blame the homeowner for opening up their doors. And so I blame the federal government. You can't even hold the people accountable. You got to hold the person accountable that let it in the first place, that didn't vet the people that's supposed to be over here. They'll bust down your chick if you let them. BBC. Bust down. Tag team.
Job when I was in Haiti, and then to make a difficult decision to leave, it wasn't easy.
The reason they left is their home country is disintegrating. Protests.
So if you can't fix your own home country, never mind. Let me just play the video.
And increasing violence in the Caribbean nation culminated in the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. Since then, the country's spiraled.
Shout out to Barbecue. Y'all remember Barbecue? Barbecue was the leader that was taking over. Man, listen, I can't do this no more, bro. I'm all out. I'm all out, bro.
Armed gangs currently control 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince. Merzus is one of the estimated 731,000 Haitian immigrants now living in the United States.
I got my brothers and sisters. My mother is still living there. I'm always thinking about my family in Haiti.
Because of that violence, the U.S. granted what's called temporary protected status to Haitians in the U.S., giving them limited time permission to live and work here. TPS was then expanded by the Biden administration. Merzus says he came to Springfield for the same reason most Haitians did. He heard that housing was cheap and jobs were plentiful.
So, word of mouth spreads. They called homie on the iPhone and said, hey, man, we opening up restaurants, we taking over churches, and we got jobs up here in Springfield, big dog. We got jobs. Can we go? Y'all want to go a little bit further? I want to deep dive a little bit further, or y'all want to wrap it up?
It started slowly. We had an application pool that was a little bit different.
People coming to work here.
People looking for jobs. What he's welding here again are welded axle components.
Jamie McGregor is the CEO of McGregor Metal, which makes welded parts for the auto and farm industries. Right now, about 10% of his workforce is Haitian, over 30 employees.
I wish I had 30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And
Shout out to the Haitians. He said, listen, they ain't like that other demographic. It's a different demographic. They ain't them entitled Americans. Listen, it's multiple reasons why y'all over here getting replaced. He said, listen, y'all think y'all can smoke trees. You think you can come to work and do what you want to do. You got work wives. You messy. You keep getting on TikTok. You think you entitled. Y'all want to keep protesting, asking for more money. Guess what? We got Adebisi's over here. Adebisi's. Do you want a job? Yes. Drug problem? No. What do you think is going to happen? Minimum wage? Yes. They cheat. They not on the internet all day because they out there playing soccer. They running up a bag. They investing in their own businesses. They taking advantage. Adebisi's. Can you go over here and man this machine? Yes, boss. They not playing no games. You are going to be replaced.
so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
McGregor acknowledges the sudden arrival of so many new immigrants is a challenge on multiple fronts, but he believes this is partly how the industrial Midwest can regrow.
We want more jobs in our community. And in order to fill those jobs, some jobs need to be people who are not originally from here.
There's things in the last 5 years that have really changed
and has been a forward improvement for Springfield. But this is taxing the resources of the city. Well, afterwards,
Springfield's mayor, Rob Rue, says he was cautiously optimistic when the first Haitians settled in town. But then their numbers quickly rose. The city estimates 12 to 15,000 Haitians are here now.
They told their friends, and so their friends is coming to hang out.
the infrastructure of the city, our safety forces, our hospitals, our schools. Springfield is a close community and has a big heart, but at the same point, we've had this influx that has taxed all these services.
The number of students needing English language help has quadrupled in 5 years. Translators at the local health center cost hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And last year was the busiest year on record for the fire department. But it seemed that for the community at large, the increase in immigration and its stresses largely flew under the radar. A lot of that changed last August. It was the very first day of school, and a school bus full of kids was coming down this road. A driver coming in the other direction came around that bend, said he was blinded by the sun. He clipped the bus, and the bus ended up in this ditch.
We begin with breaking news. Right now, multiple law enforcement agencies are on the scene of a deadly school bus crash.
Dozens of children were injured, and 11-year-old Aiden Clark died. When the driver was revealed to be a Haitian immigrant without a U.S. license, things erupted.
How are they able to get cars without licenses? Anyways.
Majority of the Haitians here are low skilled and they're illiterate.
Anyways, y'all know what's happening. Y'all know how it's playing out inside of y'all own cities. This ain't even nothing to debate. You know why? You know you're going to get replaced, and then they're going to throw you out to dry right after you voted for them. Let me read some of these super chats, and we're going to go over, clean up the rest of the show. Convo with Anton's mama is like deja vu. They all of our parents. Purple Haze in the building says, you're right, AD. It's a moment when you try to explain to your mom, then you ask them to, and they can't. Same convo other day. I feel you, big dog. Y'all just got to keep going. Keep going. Bam Bam Lynch says, sounds like my pops. He get mad at me every day. I've been the black sheep for so long that don't nobody try to reach me no more. They just be praying for me like, oh, if Blessing will come back and focus on the things he's supposed to focus on. Moms can't get off the plantation programming. T. Wright says, my people also forgave Michael Todd for spitting in the man's face, but these Christians can't find grace or forgiveness for Trump. I'm confused. Deltrek goes on to say, I went through the same thing, little dog. I always been to explore different things from the crowd. Salute, we are different. We just different. We different. Shout out to Mika. Mika says, Mama trying to gather you real quick. I love it. Yeah. David Simpson says the black sheep fixes the ditch and gets no credit. So everybody can now run. Now everybody can drive down that road now. Ooh, I blame MSNBC, CNN, and ABC. Mr. Martinez says, stay away from the ditch. Anton, we love mama. Nah, we got to fix that ditch so people can get through. Trish Krishnada says, black sheep is always the agent of change and disruption. AD is able to connect the dots that others don't see. Shout out to you, Trish Krishnada. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you, big dog. Uncle Tom says, Anton, I'm telling you, she sound like my dad. They boomers. DJ Kane says, my mom is the same way. They want you to change, but they aren't willing to change. I love transparency of the call. Thank you. I'm going to keep it real 100% of the time. Tony Williams, my dog, says, in a village where everyone walks with a limp, if you walk correctly, the village will try to break your leg to make you limp. Talk to him. Talk to him, Tone. I appreciate you, big dog. Double R says, thank you, bro. I needed that. Prince Elian says, Mom forgets Jesus was a black sheep. Turtle says, every time I hear a Dem talk, I think, why would I disregard MLK being a lifelong Republican and ignore what Malcolm X said about white liberals? High Tolerance goes on to say, we're going to pray for Mama D and the many others. That being said, any person of faith as well as any father of girls wouldn't align with the Democrat agenda to take emasculation to new heights. That's a fact. I got to rock with it. K Dizzle says, I don't want no problems, but don't you have an old video where you said you would most likely vote for Hillary? I do. It is an old video. I don't even know if it's still up, but it's a video where I was evaluating when Trump was first running for office because I said that I didn't even think that he was even taking voting or running for president serious, and I thought he was just marketing himself. And so the initial him running for president, I'm like, man, he can't be serious. Hillary Clinton is probably a better candidate because she's probably serious. But then I started listening to him, and I started listening to his policies and what he was saying. And then I also have evidence of what he's done. And I'm like, no, he's the best candidate. He's definitely the best candidate. So it took me a minute. I was actually fighting with myself based off of how I was raised in order to get off the Democrat plantation. My whole life, our whole lives, we've been programmed to think and vote Democrat similarly to the same way that I just had that conversation. Let me tell you something, bro. It takes courage. It takes courage. It takes courage to do research. It takes courage to step out. It takes courage to change from the thing that you have always been programmed to do your whole life. It takes courage. And a lot of us was raised to think and be and only vote a certain way and not to actually look at the policies, not to look at the why, not to look at the history, not to do the research, not to do any of that stuff. And so when I started opening my eyes, and my eyes had started being open way before that, but I was still conflicted because of my current circumstances in my environment, I'm like, this just don't make sense. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. Why would I vote for her? It don't make sense. So anyways, let me continue to read the super chats. Mr. Martinez says, man, I felt like I was on the phone with my mom Dukes. My parents would not switch. Yep, Church of God in Christ. Shout out to Church of God in Christ. That's why you're rich and they're not. Unbiasedly Raw calls it Django. Be Easy says, clip this segment. It's a message. Rich Ramsey says, Amy, you're right. Follow the narrow road. The crowd. Riverside Chunk says, I talked to my parents as well. You would have thought I was saying I'm voting for Satan. The media really is the greatest conditioning for the older generation. They believe the lies without thought. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, big dog. Bilderberg Boy says, shout out to your mother. I was fortunate enough to wake my mother up in 2016. But before that, she said I was crazy and the mind control through the TV screen is incredible. People have lost their third eye. No intuition. Just blindly voting. Anton, father of Abraham, left his family. He was famous. Lyndon, every one of the disciples had to leave everything behind. Lyndon the man says, my dad always said, be a leader, not a follower, and there's something wrong with me. Pine Saw Lemon Scent is in the building, says Exodus 23:2, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Aja Thomas says, as a Christian, it's not the start, it's how you finish. God changed Saul and to Paul, for those who deleted folks to Paul. We don't judge by the past eras to greatness. That's a fact. I like that. See, y'all get it? Sly White says you on to another show concept. You should have let mom keep cooking. Women need to hear how crazy plus crazy works. Someone has to be crazy to see and trust what you see. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. The masked man is in the building. Love to see you debate Roland. Roland will never face me. It ain't a God in his life. Any of the guys that he got surrounding him would absolutely fall and crumble at my feet. He would never face me. He'd go after Michaela, though. He ain't going to never say nothing to me. I'd destroy him. Love to see you debate Roland. Shout out to you. Shout out to my girl Molly in the building. I appreciate you, Molly. Aja Thomas says, God's hands is on this election, fingers on Trump. Larry says, shout out to you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Whit Janice says, well, you have spoke words of wisdom years ago that has helped me and is still with me today. Truly grateful. Shout out to my girl Janice. Joshua Wilson says, go ahead, Pricey Daniels. Video circulation of Biden putting on a Trump hat. Okay, I got to see that. Aja Thomas says that mortgage arm was a devil. Agree, Anton. I told people don't get that arm. Rightfully deserved flowers unto you, Anton. Thankful for your content. Tech Coach Ralph says, did you see SpaceX first flight? First private space walk this morning. Mission name Polaris Dawn. I haven't seen it yet. Bam Bam Lynch is in the building. Says, I can't even get a grant for a boxing gym for the youth. What in the World TV? Shout out to What in the World TV. Says, I was not for reparations until they started giving out our tax money by the trillion. Shameful. Our ancestors are upset. Couple more. Rev Tim Duncan is in the building and says, I wanted you to see this video. All right, I did. I seen it. Sherwin Kerr says, UPS has hired these immigrants to work in a warehouse here in Indianapolis. Appreciate y'all all for the super chats. Let me also make sure that all of the cash apps is read before we get out of here. Kind of went off script today, but we here. We here. Kind of went off script today. Give me a second. I don't want to leave anything out. My junk is just spinning. It's just spinning. It ain't actually doing nothing. Let's see if I can get the text messages. Shout out to Snap Text Fix in the building. I appreciate you, Snap Text Fix. That was the last cash app. All right, so we cool. We good. All right, listen, y'all. CEO Steve dropped one more. I went to a tech support client who had an MSNBC in the background, immediately went full-blown TDS and a 20-minute rant about Trump. Jesus Christ. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, y'all, listen. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to rocking out. We got after hours tonight. So after hours, we continue the conversation. More on the way. We're going to talk about all of the things and the popular things that's happening out in the culture. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for rocking out with me for this 2.5 hours that we've just recently been on. All right, y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight. Peace.